decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in over 40 years, where the stock market just finished the worst first half of a year in more than 5 decades. We are a nation that has the highest energy cost in its history, and we are no longer energy independent or energy dominant, which we were just 2 short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela and Saudi Arabia for oil. We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment in the world. We are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. We're a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never before. We've never seen anything like this. We're a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is about all you get. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is rampant like never before, where the economy has been collapsing, where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 2020. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it's taken from the United States to build a military to rival our own. We are a nation that over the past 2 years is no longer respected or listened to all around the world. And we are a nation that is hostile to liberty and freedom and faith. We are a nation whose economy is floundering, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the bottom of every list. We are a nation that in many ways has become a joke. But soon we will have greatness again. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have. We will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. Ever, ever, ever. We will never give in. We will never give up. And we will never, ever back down. We will never let you down. As long as we are confident and united, the tyrants we are fighting do not stand even a little chance. Because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and God alone. And it is time to start talking about greatness for our country again.
Welcome back to another night of Stick with Koolfrogg. I have Jimmy YouTube with me at the moment. AmericaShirts says that he was going to be a few minutes, so we're not going to actually start talking about anything in specific until he actually gets here. We'll give him a little bit of time. If he takes too long, we'll kind of move on from him, but we'll give him the few minutes anyway, like I told him that I'd do. So first and foremost, say hello, Jimmy YouTube.
Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Jimmy YouTube said he's going to do a little bit of a drawing here tonight while we're actually talking. So, what are you drawing? What is this?
I don't even know. It's just a doodle.
It's just a doodle. Fun.
I'm just keeping my hands occupied.
No, yeah, that's fun. There you go. So then let's say hello to everybody real quick. Hello, Sage. Hello, Short Order Cook. Princess. Hopefully you can fill up your stomach with that cereal that you're going to go grab. Let's see who else we got. We got Ann Kirk. We got Rose. TR Greater X. My man. I am Koolfrogg.
What's up?
But AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com. Not best, but first.
Quite.
Though
Very
he is
important.
one of the best, it is very important to get that correct. It is AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com. Who else do we got with us here? We got Kendrick Kate. Nice to see you. Awesome.
What's up? How's it going, everybody? How's your nights?
Heidi, how you doing?
Or day, I guess.
Or wherever you are, how's it going for your?
Have you gone international, Frogman?
Yeah, to a point. There's a couple of them that are Australian. I got a couple others from some other countries. We can do a quick little poll here. Who all is from where? You know, U.S., Australia. U.K., Australia. You know, any other country? Go ahead, throw that up there, and we'll see where everybody's from. Being that we're waiting for America shirts anyway. We'll see how many people decide to answer. You go. There's TR's from Ohio. Debbie's from New Mexico. There you go. Anybody else that wants to throw something in there?
Got a lot of folks stateside. I like it.
Anne's from Oregon. Oregon. I'm sorry. Say that wrong. Short Order Cook is from Australia. Princess is from California.
California.
Kendra Kate says Koolfrogg is worldwide. And that's awesome.
Yes.
It's so awesome to hear.
He's the latest sensation sweeping the nation.
Right? So then, Madcore Mofo being the Australian himself is where I get my Australian following, as well as quite a few others that have been following him. JMK, how's it going, my man? Says he's from the Ozarks.
Sick. That was a good show.
Yeah, right. Good show. Look at that fun doodle that he's got going on there. The dude's got this big, huge tattoo on his face. That's fun. Everybody's just pretty much saying hi to each other.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I love that so much.
It's great. It's so much fun. TR's asking, the Ozarks are in Missouri, correct? I'm not positive.
Frogman was like, hey, you can be quiet when the show's starting, right? I'm like, yeah, I got that. No problem. All of a sudden I get a phone call. I'm like, shit.
I muted you the second that I heard that ring. I'm like, okay. Because that happens. It's fun. Let's see if we can't. Let's do.
Why would we see if we can't?
No, let's see if we can. See if we can give you a slightly bigger screen so people can see what you're actually doing there. Check out his fun little doodle.
Golly,
teeny tiny little, just a small little dude.
Just a little doodle here, you know, a little something there, something here.
Again, everybody that's coming in, we're actually waiting for AmericaShirts to bring himself in here. He said he had a few issues going on. He didn't want to go too far without him. If it takes too much longer, whatever, maybe we'll just cover one of the small articles and do that as opposed to just sitting there and throwing some nothingness at you. Yeah, audience is awesome. They're all this, everybody's so friendly with each other. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you again tonight. So much fun.
Yeah, I love that little interaction with everyone. I feel like that's an important thing to have, actually.
I should maybe I'll take
a shot.
Take a little shot.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Wet the whistle. So he lost the appeal today. Okay. I did see that Ricada was going to actually cover the Vic Mignogna stuff tonight. And I was like, oh, of course, tonight of all nights, he's going to do that. No, not that it mattered, because eventually I figured something would come down the pipe on that. But it's saying that he lost his appeal today.
What? God, they like to keep that guy down.
Yeah, anything they can do to keep him from being able to be himself. That's horrible.
Oh, man.
Got the Emporia Egal. I don't know what that means, Jim K. I really don't. You can explain that to me. Maybe I'll understand.
Yeah. What's that mean? We can wait for a response. It sounds important.
I just took my little shot, so yum. Got myself a small bottle of some tin cup whiskey. It's an American whiskey. It's good stuff. Kind of smooth. Double-headed eagle from 40K.
Is that this?
Is that what, maybe that's what is?
I might have drawn something from 40K. That's funny.
Is that somebody that I know? This is just Jimmy freehanding something because he's like, oh, let's just doodle something. Keep himself busy.
Yeah, gotta keep myself occupied, otherwise I spank it. No.
He needs something to do with his hands all the time. If his hands aren't moving, his brain stops and then he goes to sleep.
It's a very sad story.
Koolfrogg, that looked fun. I'm gonna have to drop a few bucks and buy it. Yeah, it did look fun. It was kind of an interesting looking game. It was like a morgue simulator, like kind of like puzzle type game or whatever. But it's kind of interesting, and what was actually going on. And then all of a sudden, boom! It ended, and he's like, "Oh, that's it." And everybody's like, well, "What? What do you mean that's it?" And he's like,
Huh?
"Oh, that's it." And they're like, well, wait a minute.
That's all there is.
That's not fair. And he's like, wait, it was just a demo. It's like, I guess Grim's dropping a couple bucks. And it looks like this guy's throwing a couple bucks down. So, TR's going to do it. He's like, yes, I have to. So, like, it did seem really interesting. I don't know how much it actually costs to actually play the game, but it was, there was a couple people that were in audience that were like, "Oh, that scared me," or "Oh, that was kind of eerie or creepy or something or other," and I'm like, "That's funny." Debbie Moncrief says, "I can draw Snoopy, and that's about it."
What? You could draw Snoopy? That's sick.
JMK, I used the white engineering eraser, works on ink and carbon.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I use this guy, and these guys are my friends right here, these little eraser pencils. I drew Donald Trump on stream the other day, if y'all would like to see that.
Yeah, we do want to see that. So They Call Me Rose says the most I ever draw is squares while at work when the phone call is long.
That's awesome, though. I love that people doodle. I love hearing about it.
I draw squares. Hey, Tish, how's it going, dear? There you
There's
go.
the man.
We all know who that man is.
Hello, it's me, your favorite president.
What's up, JMK?
Hello, Kath. How you doing? TR says the mortuary assistant is for $25 on Steam. But yeah, Donald Trump, he's just the man. See, Princess is like, that looks great. If you
Thank you.
if you like his stuff, you like the draw. He actually has been drawing that stuff live on stream. He actually does his own streams over on his own channel. I do have his channel actually tied to the description down below. You all should check him out. He's at like 50 some subscribers at the moment. He can't name his channel until he hits 100.
God, I don't know what the hell that means. It has a name. I know what it means now. Like you guys explained it to me, but it's so weird that they call it that.
You get a little algorithm number that's to start off with or whatever, and it allows you to actually customize it once you hit the 100 and actually give yourself, as opposed to that algorithm number, it gives you a and actually allows you to actually put your own name in there or whatever you would like. Like if you look at like Grimm's bars or whatever, I believe his says Jax your car. It's like JXURCAR. If you know what those names are and what it is at the end, when you put those in, it actually pulls up your channel, as opposed to when you like when I go and I search Jimmy YouTube.
Yeah.
It comes up with 1,000 other things as well as you. You know, so it's just not. It's just strange how it actually comes up with the user once they actually change their name. Once you're actually able to do that, like TR just put mine up. It says youtube.com/c/Koolfrogg. And that's because I was able to actually change it when I hit the 100, and I put it as, you know, obviously Koolfrogg, and it makes it easier to find because it actually finds the channel and all the content that they produce, as opposed to finding several people. And like yours is Jimmy YouTube. So if you actually go and you actually put in Jimmy YouTube to find that, like I said, it throws so many other people up there. The word YouTube, it just throws a whole ton of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, TR's just kind of showing us some examples of, you know. And did you change it to just the expert? Because it was the expert is on YouTube. Yeah, it is interesting. It's very fun. You notice how somebody like Jimmy YouTube goes and he just throws a couple lines on the on the piece of paper, and it's like, oh, that's cool. It totally makes sense. If I drew those same lines, it would not make sense. It'd be like, what the heck did you just do?
It's called cross-hatching.
TR, apparently the expert doesn't work, LOL. Yeah, that's why I said it's the expert is on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. I think if I made one, Ishi Bar and Grill. LOL. Yeah. Oh, there you go. If you're good at mixing drinks and cooking food, that'd be very fun to see. There's a lot of people that are like ASMR cooking is really a thing. People like
you have to show your cleavage though.
Well, not necessarily, but
go look up ASMR on Twitch right now, and I guarantee titties.
Right, but if you put in ASMR cooking,
titties,
it shows
more
you things like
titties.
it shows you things like fireside or whatever, or fireside cooking, I believe it is, or something or other, where he actually, you know, goes outside, starts a fire, sets his pot, his pan, whatever he's cooking on that day, and then he'll like, you can hear the knife cutting through the meat, you can hear him chopping all the stuff up. When he throws it in the pan, you hear that, you know, whatever. You hear that sizzle. You hear the, you know, all the little things to go along with it. So then, right, Like Ish says she was a bartender, so she knows how to mix all these drinks. Could you imagine hearing the each little pour, whatever, and you hear the ice clinking in the cup, or you hear different,
Yeah, the little tinks of the spoon or the tinks of the ice, like you said, except against like the mixing. What is it? The shaky.
the shaker, right? You go
Yeah.
through like all those little sounds and noises that come from all the things that you do. People like that. People really get into listening to ASMR anything. So it's not just girls licking ears.
It's a lot of that.
There is a lot of that, but there's more to ASMR than just that. There's a lot more to it. Debbie says, I showed my cleavage in Mardi Gras back in the 1980s. That's a whole other story.
Ow!
TR says, Gibby ASMR, GIBI, is the biggest ASMR person on YouTube, and she doesn't show cleavage. Well, that's a little
honor. Why would I show up then?
Yeah, right. It's like, what am I doing then?
I'm kidding. I'm sure she has great content.
I never get the triggers people say with ASMR, but it does help me go to sleep. Yeah, I get that, Rose, and I get a lot of. I've had several people tell me that my voice is soothing, and that they listen to me while they actually go to fall asleep. And so, if my voice is that soothing for you that it actually helps you fall asleep, is that really exciting for somebody? Is that something that people would really enjoy? Because eventually, I was thinking of reading, like going over to my locals page, where I actually do have a couple of paid subscribers over there, and actually reading the Federalist Papers. Would they actually be able to make it through the whole reading and hear what I said, or would they fall asleep first? Rose says it is. Yeah, well, that's the fun thing. They like my voice, apparently. They're like, oh, it's so soothing. He's got such a soft voice. If they could only see me in face to face and actually see what I actually look like, they'd be like, that's not what I expected him to look like. I know that I've turned on my cameras several different times with having my fedora on over my eyes, so you couldn't see the eyes, but you could see my face and you could see my beard, and they're all like, oh, that's not what I expected to see. Yes, read the Federalist Papers. I'd pay for that. Okay, I'll do it. That'll happen as soon as I possibly can. I want to do. There's a couple of things that I need to do to get myself situated to do so, and once I do, it'll start up real soon here, and I'll start doing that. I'll do that on the local side, so that way I'm not running that alongside of my regular show. I don't know what time frame that I would actually do that in. I know that locals only allows you to do like an hour at a time, so it would be like an hour here or there, or whatever during the. I really don't know what time I do it. TR says, Koolfrogg, your beard is epic, and it is growing very lengthy, and it's taken some time to actually get it there. Rose says, only locals? I'd be willing to pay for it. Nice. I got a couple of other people that are interested in doing that. All right. If that's the case, it's going to happen sooner than later. Because, just like anybody else that does YouTube content, eventually it gets kind of disheartening when you're actually doing it. You're just doing it for nothing. It really, not to be a grifter on that or whatever, because I don't really beg and ask. It's more of a, you do what you want. If you feel that you can actually afford it and you won't break yourself, yeah, absolutely. but I'm not going to tell you that you need to. Your drawing's awesome.
Thanks.
Very good. Very good. How would you feel about the screw tape letters? I'd have to look that up to see what that actually was. Debbie says, I joined your local earlier today. Awesome. That's cool. Thank you. I do have quite the following that is over there. So more and more is going to actually happen. Koolfrogg, did you see the Potato Man himself? Brian Stelter got the show canceled. Yep, that is one of the topics for tonight. So let's do that one. We'll go cover that real quick because it's actually kind of funny, kind of interesting. Let me see if I can pull the article that I have pulled up for it.
You should say what Fair and Balanced was doing.
I did see her because I was sitting on Madcore Mofo's channel with him because he threw me a link. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to join him. So as I joined him, we just so happened to go over to click. He's like, he had been watching what she was doing. I believe I told you, she actually sang over the top of it.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's so funny. Sorry, TR. I'm not that much of a singer. I'm not going to sing over the top of mine. Here, let's pull this up here. Look at that. Breaking. New management shakes things up. Brian Stelter gone.
Get wrecked, nerd.
Right. Get wrecked, nerd. CNN host Brian Stelter is out of a job after months of speculation that he could be on the chopping block. His last reliable sources show will air this Sunday, the network said. Fox News reported. CNN will end its reliable sources program on Sunday, August 21st. As a result, Brian Stelter will leave the company. We appreciate his contributions to the network and wish him well as he embarks on new endeavors. Spoke to NPR about his departure from the network and said that he is grateful for the show and the way his team examined the media, truth, and stories that shape our world. Truth? CNN?
Funny.
Truth? CNN? Truth? CNN?
Have those two been in the same sentence before?
Never. Never have I heard those two words in the same sentence ever. Hello, Memento Mori. How's it going? It was a rare privilege to lead a weekly show focused on the press at the time when it has never been more consequential. The host said he would have more to say on his show this Sunday. Stelter came to CNN from the New York Times, the nation's top media reporter. He departs CNN an impeccable broadcaster. An impeccable broadcaster?
Let's ask the chat this. I had this question for Shirts and Frogman. So I had said, do you think we'll hear from him again after this? Do you think we'll hear from Brian Stelter?
His truth and impeccableness? Yes, absolutely. We'll hear more of that for sure. If we don't hear more from him, I have no clue what the heck they're talking about. So that was these are quotes from the vice president of content and development or whatever. Amy Intellis is quoting these, and her next one is, "We are proud of that Brian and his team accomplished over the years, and we're confident their impact and influence will long outlive the show." Yo, at Brian Stelter, my show is hiring, Fox News host Greg Gutfeld said.
Love Gutfeld.
He's like, yeah, buddy, troll him harder. I look forward to recognizing Brian Stelter as he runs up to my car at a red light to try to wash my windshield. Hoping I'll give him some cash, Tim Pool says.
Ooh, even Tim's roasted him. That's rough.
Greg Price. Liz Cheney and Brian Stelter are gone in a span of 3 days. This is amazing. Ian Miles Chong. Brian Stelter has been fired from CNN. Goodbye, potato. Eddie Scary. I have no clue who this person is, but they have a blue check mark, so they must be worth something.
Oh, it must be important.
I take it as a sincere effort by CNN's management to return to some level of normal by canceling Brian Stelter in his stupid show. One down, about 10 more crucial fires to go. Keep the ball rolling with Tapper and Avalon. Caleb Hall. Caleb Hall is a piece of work, that's for sure. Brian Stelter is about to get roasted into oblivion by Tucker tonight. Yeah, damn right. There's no way that he didn't get roasted into oblivion by Tucker.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what it was
to
tomorrow.
say about it. Right? I'm waiting for it to come out. I bet if I actually did some looking, we could actually maybe find something.
Oh yeah, probably.
Christmas in August. Brian Stelter to depart CNN as it cancels reliable sources media show, says Arthur Swartz. Yet another blue check mark. You know, because they're reliable sources. They're totally reliable. The company announced Thursday that it is ending the media analysis show that was aired by various iterations for 30 years. Its last episode will be Sunday. As the result, Brian Stelter will leave the company. A CNN spokesperson told CNN Business, "We appreciate his contributions to the network and wish him well as he embarks in new endeavors." Amy
In
Entella,
other words, pack
CNN's
your shit and get out.
right. Amy Entella, CNN's executive president in talent and content development, praised Stelter's accomplishments. They kind of rehash it all over again. We pretty much read through that article. But yeah, very good stuff. Very interesting to see somebody like Brian Stelter's dumb, stupid crap, commie network news going ahead and like done a show that's been
Taking the
around for
swan.
30 years. You know, it's really interesting that, you know, after 30 years that they would be able to actually go to the point of just canceling the show. And they're like, all right, we're done. The show's not worth it anymore. And instead of trying to bring in somebody bad that might do a better job on it, they're just going to go ahead and they're just going to trash the whole show.
Well,
So-
yeah, it's because they don't have any real news. Like, there's nothing truthful about it.
I had to scroll back through because my chat was moving too fast. I'm going to write this screw tape letters down so that way I have it so that it stays in my mind. A book by C.S. Lewis. Okay, that's good to know. Because I do take suggestions, and when I've had suggestions from people before that initially were watching me that kind of had faded away, had stopped watching me so much, or even coming into chat that had asked me to do other books. And I said, yes, eventually I'll do that. But, you know, it's nothing that I can just do overnight. I mean, I can't just be snap of a finger and be like, yeah, no, that book cost me $50. Not an issue. No, it is simply an issue. I can't, there's no way that I can just do that. So, you know, if there's certain recommendations that people want, you have to give me a little bit of time before I can actually get to those. If I don't already have the book. Now, I know there's plenty of books in my house. When I say plenty of books, my wife has a whole slew of things that I'd ask her first before I even bought anything, just to be sure I didn't buy a duplicate book. 'Cause she reads more than I do. It's amazing. I'm gonna actually look those up real quick just so I. Screw Tape by C.S. Lewis. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, those are not too bad. Like about $10. What's this? Somebody's. She knows better. That's kind of silly. Kind of silly. So here, let's do this real quick. We'll go and we'll view somebody else's stuff while they're doing it, because we can.
What? There's something we can do on YouTube?
Don't do it for who?
For
Koolfrogg,
Robin
I think.
and Ash are sitting
Oh
there
well, I
talking
don't
to
mean
each
it in a
other.
bad way. He knows that. I think. You think it's disrespectful? Oh crap!
I haven't seen Robin in forever.
Yeah. Now if I take it down, it's gonna be even more disrespectful.
You could
Oh,
write.
she can't take it down now
I
because
don't
it's
know.
now on my show.
Leave it to me to screw things up, because that's what I do everywhere.
I'm sure he'll talk to us after.
That's so funny.
I don't think he would be upset with it. I think he'd just be.
You'd be like, "What happened?"
Yeah. All right. Well, he
She'll
knows I
see
don't
these
mean it in
comments in
bad
a
way.
Oh,
second.
he's watching.
He's watching.
You can't screw up. I'm watching you.
I'm watching you. Well, I just gotten crap from Toy Box Brain for sending you a link to come on stream, because I just realized you were streaming at the same time, Koolfrogg. So,
Oh,
he's like, that's disrespectful, dude.
It's all good. It's all good.
bring them over here.
We'll see.
And then I went and I spelled that wrong. It's all
What
good.
do you think of the music industry? Squabble Bob.
He said it's all good. See, Toy Box Brain, he knows better. He knows my intent.
If she only knew. If she only knew what we were actually doing.
All right. What do we think of the music industry? That is a big question. And thank you for asking it. Because if anybody has any questions for us, now's the time. That is a very general question. Can you be a little bit more specific?
Because it's so huge. It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Koolfrogg says, if you only knew what we were actually doing. Do I want to know?
Let's go investigate.
Let's go. No, don't do that.
Are
She's
you
gonna
peeking
go
in
and-
on us?
Go ahead,
On your
investigate.
stream.
Go ahead, Ashley.
Oh,
Do it.
don't do that.
Go do it. Go do it.
no.
I bet you he
Oh
is.
no.
Do
Yes,
it,
he is.
Ashley.
Oh yeah.
Tell her what we're doing.
Robin realized.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to come and check in on us.
But you can't
I
you
like
can't
it.
delete it now. That's the
I
thing,
like it.
because it's now on my channel forever. Ashley, you got to tell her because she can't hear that.
He knows
Koolfrogg.
Because he knows I don't. I don't stream very often either. So, so I'm waiting for Squad Bob to answer a little bit. Koolfrogg's been busy. He's been on the Michael Malloy show. He hopped
I
in
have
with
been busy.
Madcore.
I was on the Michael Malloy
He's
show.
doing his own streams. He is,
Who's Mike Malone?
Michael
busy,
Malloy.
busy.
Really busy. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm going to actually start sharing this so that we can go back to our conversation. So Michael Malloy show, when Madcore Mofo did a 24-hour stream, we went and we did what we just did to Robin and went and viewed random different people who were live, and he just so happened to be live, and he was the funnest one out of the bunch. So in the last few weeks, I've actually joined the Mike Malloy show several times, several live streams, several panels with him, and just had some fun with it. I've actually picked several of his supporters or his regular viewers up, been watching here as well. And then, like she said, I'm busy or whatever. So I went from doing that to actually going and cooking supper and eating with my family to come and talking to you guys for a little bit. And then I was at Mad Carmofo for like 45 minutes or so, talking with him and doing stuff with him. And now I'm on my own show. So it's like, it's YouTube world is very fun and very interesting. And to actually get somewhere, you really have to kind of move yourself around and check out different places. And when you actually have something to say, people hear that and they're like, oh, hey, let's go and hit him up and let's go see what else he's doing. So it's very fun and very interesting. Add that to the cart. That book is now in my cart from C.S. Lewis. We'll see how soon I can actually pull that up and get that. It said it was a $10 book. I should be able to get that within a short bit. But I'm still going to do the Federalist Papers first, so it might be a minute. Let's see here. What else can we do? Let's do this one. I don't want to take too long and not do some stuff or whatever, because if I take too long and then us and we're a couple hours past AmericaShirts or whatever, and I just don't want to keep him up all night if he's tired or whatever else. So this is a developing story out of Maryland. So this is shots were fired at a mall in Prince George's in Maryland. So this is police on Thursday responded to a shots fired in the mall of Prince George's in Hyattsville, Maryland. According to reports, the gunshots were fired near a food court. It is unclear if there's any injuries. The city of Hyattsville police officers are on the scene of the shooting in the mall in Prince George's, Hyattsville, Maryland. According to the Hyattsville Police Department, there were shots fired at the mall. So there is something that did happen. I don't know if this...
We are following some breaking news that is just coming to us in our newsroom. This is coming out of Hyattsville. Police are responding to reports of shots fired at the mall at Prince George's. Now, this is along East-West Highway. Skyfox is on the way to the scene. Our is also on the way, and we will continue to update you as we learn more information when it becomes available to us. But again, we have learned about shots fired at the mall at Prince George's County along East-West Highway. Be sure to stay with Fox 5 on air and online for more updates.
So it seems very interesting that more, because, guns are bad, right? And
sure.
Right, exactly. And people don't understand is that criminals will still have access to these, particular things. They will actually go and grab their weapons. They will actually go and, shoot up place or whatever. It's not the ones that are, taught to use guns, the ones that actually have carry concealed stuff or whatever, or open carry stuff, or it's not those people that are usually doing it. It's usually the criminals that are already out there that shouldn't have them, that decide to actually go and turn themselves against the will of the people and actually go and start shooting it up. And you can see it looks like there's like a mall front, as opposed to it just being like an inside mall. It's like it's more of a strip mall. So you can see there's a Mesa, there's a Five Guys, there's a Cheese, whatever. That's a Bridal. When you see that people are able to do what they need to do when they want to do it, it's really amazing that people don't think that, they have the tendency to think, this shooting is, I can't believe it. We must take away guns from everybody. You really need to start thinking about it or whatever. If you think that's what the case is, that we're actually, that these shootings happen by people that actually lawfully obtained their guns to conceal carry or open carry. It's not them. It's not them at all. If we actually eventually we're going to find out the name of this person, and I will cover it once we actually figure out who this person is. Most likely on Sunday we'll cover it or whatever when we go back to regular news. Oh, we're getting raided. We're getting raided by Madcore Mofo.
Oh, Madcore Mofo.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Carolina is here. Nice to see ya. Tweety U.S. News says raid.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Alan Walsh, welcome. How's it going, my man? So y'all know as you're coming in here, whatever. AmericaShirts said that he was running a little late. As soon as he's available to get here, there's some other stuff that we will cover. Just kind of covering some random small news until he does get here. Currently, we were just kind of screwing around, watching Comrade Jimmy sit there and draw a picture, freehand doodle, because he's good like that. That's this kind of stuff that he does. So I found this kind of interesting today. Hey, Sinbad. Hey, Bella. I don't want to miss people as they're coming in. But we're going to actually kind of move on. So this is Walking Miracle. Drone captures moment. A Florida man was mauled by a large alligator. He fought off the attack, but had his skull crushed. I couldn't imagine this man actually. You can see he looks very uncomfortable. His head's very, very mangled from this particular incident. So this is the Florida man barely escaped death when he experienced a head-on confrontation with a large alligator on the 3rd of August. The harrowing scene is captured on video by a drone flying above the lake. Juan Carlos Laverde, who also is going by JC Defeats, was swimming in Lake Thonotosasa. I don't know what the heck that is. It's an interesting area. If you're swimming in a lake in Florida, you kind of have to watch out. there are alligators,
and people ought to know that. Like, I don't know why he would do what he did.
I'm guessing that it had something to do with his name being JC Defeats. Like he was actually doing this on, like he was doing this on purpose. But he actually didn't get defeated. He won the fight. That's the interesting one.
That alligator won that fight. You don't get up after getting knocked out and say, victory.
So it says about 20 miles northeast of Tampa, Laverde was being recorded with a drone hovering above for a video for. Forgot to bring his swimming goggles for swimming in the water. Chilling drone video reveals the moment that Laverde swam straight into a 12-foot-long alligator and was mauled. The alligator snapped at Laverde, and the animal clenched its jaws on the man's head and upper torso. Pointing to the right side of his head, Laverde said, "I was chomped down on this side." Like completely. Laverde, a former U.S. Air Force pararescue veteran and current firefighter, fought for his life. In an unbelievable amount of faith in myself, and I wasn't going to die. He recalled the fight with the alligator. I was going to be okay, but I needed to act for sure. With the alligator's jaw clamped on his head, he put his hands in the animal's mouth so that he, what I think I could do, what I felt like I did, was that I immediately tried to open the jaws because I knew I was in a gator. It's like he knew he was inside the gator. It's like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
When I felt teeth, I immediately knew, and then I opened it. I knew that I either turned it or it turned me, but it was confused just as I was confused, and then it just let go. She let go, and she didn't even let. She let go, and she didn't have to let go. So I mean, he fought off the gator. No matter how you actually think about it, he actually fought it off. There is a video that goes along with it. It does say graphic video. Because it says graphic video, I really don't want to air it because I don't want YouTube to actually, come down on me and be like, we got you for this. And it's like, well, okay. I don't want that to happen. And I'm sure y'all don't want that to happen either. What's this? Kath, good night. You have a good one, dear. So this is the Verdi's wife said her husband is in a walking miracle. Kristen Laverda told WTVT the bike crushed his skull and it punctured his brain. So they ended up having to do crani. I can't even say it right now, apparently. Remove that part of his temporal lobe. The alligator took attack, broke his jaw, and damaged a facial nerve. JC had his craniectomy. Sure, thank you. JC had his jaw wired shut and needs to wear a helmet to protect his vulnerable head. He will need another surgery in the future. JC offered words of inspiration to others struggling and advised them to keep their faith. I'm asking you to be tough because the world is a very difficult place. And man, is it challenging to maneuver through without God and ultimately Jesus Christ in your heart. Find your God, find him. I got that. That's scary. I do, but life is a scary place. So you can carry the load by yourself or have someone carry it for you. This is the fourth serious alligator attack in Tampa since March. The other 3 incidents were fatal. So you can see there's a couple more videos. You can see where the scars are on his face and on top of his head. It looks very, very uncomfortable. I couldn't imagine. Though there, some believe, as I do, that there's a God out there somewhere. Jesus Christ, whoever you believe in. When you think about it, why would you go swimming in the water where there's alligators? Just stay out of the water. There's no reason to go in that mucky, murky water, especially when you know there's the potential of having an alligator that could do this type of damage or worse and make it fatal, like these other 2 incidences that had occurred. Oh, the other 3 incidences that had occurred that had been fatal. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, apparently this guy, being a firefighter and going off, the way he did, maybe he has a really good story and a reason why that he actually felt the need to actually jump in this water and have it taped.
Well, he was going swimming. Remember, he forgot his goggles, so he just didn't see the gator.
But there was a drone that was watching him, so it's like he knew he was going to do this. It wasn't that he just jumped in there because he was hot. He jumped in there to actually, try, swimming through the water. Well, you forgot your goggles, so if you forgot your goggles, and this is something that you normally do, you'd think that you'd just kind of be like, I forgot my goggles, I'm not going to go in, or anything. It's just hilarious when you think about it.
If you're in Florida, you hear all the time about alligators. Like, man, this guy, I don't know.
Sinbad says, lucky guy. God is everywhere, and so are gators in Florida, Louisiana, etc. Even God can't fix stupidity.
Yep.
Yep. Let's see, what else do we want to do here? Really hope AmericaShirts does eventually show up here for us.
That'd be ultra good.
Let's see, do this one. This one, because we do have 30 people watching us, we'll do a CDC investigating fast-moving E. coli outbreak in Michigan and Ohio that has infected nearly 30 people. The CDC is currently unable to find the source of the E. coli outbreak. So this is a fast-moving E. coli outbreak has infected dozens of people and hospitalized 9 others in Ohio and Michigan. The CDC announced via press release on Wednesday that 29 individuals are ill due to the outbreak from the unknown source. No deaths have been reported at this time. The first infection was recorded in July. The number of infected could increase over time due to the uncertainty behind the source of the outbreak. The people infected with the bacteria have age ranges from 6 to 91. The CDC says that it uses its pulse system to track down the cause of the outbreak during the investigation. The agency stated that the true number of infected may be higher and present in other states. Some of the illnesses reported in Michigan and Ohio have not yet been reported PulseNet system, but investigators are working quickly to add them to the PulseNet to determine if they may be part of this outbreak. If an individual believes that they're infected with E. coli, CDC recommends that they make a record of what they ate in the week before they were infected. Report the illness to local and state health department and answer any further questions about the illness. Symptoms of E. coli infection often vary depending on the person, but usually include severe stomach cramps, diarrhea, vomiting, and fever. The CDC states that most patients recover after 5 to 7 days. Some infections are mild, while other severe cases may cause death. TR says Koolfrogg. Great. I live in Ohio. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful what's going on. There is a currently Michigan, Ohio area, whatever, that could be very dangerous. Be careful what you're eating. For whatever reason, this particular picture is showing an outbreak linked to tainted ground beef has spread in at least 10 states. I'm going to actually play this little video here real quick on it. I really hate the music. I'm going to turn the music down. With 156 people testing positive for infection. At this time, no supplier, distributor, or brand of ground beef has been identified. The investigation into the spread began on March 28th after health officials in both Kentucky and Georgia reported outbreaks to the CDC. So far, there's been 65 reported cases and 30 reported cases in Kentucky and Georgia. So it's not just Ohio and Michigan. There's more and more going on with tainted ground beef. Additional cases of E. coli infection were later reported in Florida, Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, Ohio, Tennessee, and Virginia. Watch out with the ground beef.
Holy crap.
Careful. Know where you're getting your stuff from and pay attention. Pay attention. If you come down with any of these particular symptoms, make sure that you actually understand what you're actually looking at. So then, again, severe stomach cramps, diarrhea, vomiting, and fever, be very careful. Koolfrogg, oh, I'll be good if it's ground beef. I ate my own beef, pork, and chicken we slaughter and butcher ourselves. Yeah, see, and that's why I said know where you're getting your stuff from. If
And I would
do
like to know the Great Raptor better.
if you're any of these states, I'd suggest try not buying it from the local Walmart. Just saying. Meat at the Walmart, I've never seen any Walmart actually have good meat that looked good, that tasted good. I'm just saying. Could be very, very dangerous, to say the least. What else do I got here?
Got it all. We got everything you want.
Well, there's a couple stories that I want AmericaShirts here for, so I mean, I'm assuming he's going to show up eventually here.
I would figure.
Got some personal issues that he's got working out. Got to work out, and he'll be here. Potentially criminal in the house. Hello, how are you? Good to see you.
Grim's here?
No, potentially criminal.
Oh damn, Jimmy, that's looking nice. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the cool picture that he's got going on there. That's awesome. Let's see if I can't. Switch size. Give you a full screen view.
There you go.
There you go.
There's my little doodle.
What are we at here? We're at an hour.
I'll probably take off when Shirts gets here so I can go call that person who gave me a ring.
Sure. Let's do this one, I guess. Jordan Peterson takes blow torch to climate alarmist. Back off, oh master of the universe. So, it says, as in the case of any number of influential conservatives with large microphones, the left is terrified of Jordan Peterson, which is why, for example, the Canadian psychologist, author, and media personality was suspended by Twitter in late June after he tweeted about gender transition surgery undergone by an actor who now goes by the name of Elliot Page. Peterson was promptly kicked to the curb and allegedly violating Twitter's rules against hateful conduct. He also called left-wing meltdown in May with a tweet declaring the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model not beautiful. Beautiful is in the eye of the beholder. So, really, when he says she's not beautiful, that doesn't mean that she's not. No amount of authoritarian tolerance is going to change that. And you can see the picture of her, whatever. She's got a little bit of weight on her, whatever. And for whatever reason, they decided to actually put her on the front cover, and to be what it is.
Oh, because we don't need supermodels anymore. No, why the hell would we want somebody that's super fucking attractive?
No, right, exactly. And again, attractiveness is in the eye of the beholder. So it's not that she isn't pretty; she's pretty in her own right. For somebody
thinks she is.
Right, is for Jordan Peterson, to call her out for it, maybe not be the best. Peterson's back again. This time, during the existential threat of mankind. Crowd in a blistering video on his YouTube channel entitled "Back Off, All Masters of the Universe," Peterson went bottom line with a few questions with which tens of millions of Americans can identify as we speak. Have you all noticed that food has become much more expensive? That shelter has become much more expensive, that energy is more expensive, that many consumer goods are simply unavailable? Peterson went on to argue that life is more difficult due to the transition from fossil fuels to the so-called green energy scheme. incessantly beaten to death by Joe Biden and others, Peterson calls believers in an environmental apocalypse. In the video, he vowed to resist the global fear campaign, which he said is aimed at stripping people of freedom by making life more expensive and more difficult. So it says, as transcribed by Newsbusters, it says, leave us alone, you centralizers of power, you worshippers of GM, you sacrificers of wealth and property of others, you would be planetary savers, you Machiavellian pretenders and virtue signalers, objecting to power, all the while you gather it around you madly. Thus alone. An August 15th article titled Peddlers and Environmental Doom have shown that total totalitarian colors. Peterson correctly observed that corporations and utopians are offering authoritarian solutions to crises only democracy and free markets can solve. In a video, Peterson called for resistance to the madness. We will not advance without resistance through the straits of your enforced private provision. We will now allow you to steal and destroy the energy that makes our lives bearable and that produces our food and shelter and housing and sporadic delights of modern life. Just to address your existential terror, particularly when it will fail to do so in any case. Emphasis on economic growth instead of Green New Deals, Peterson offered his ideas for a pathway to the future, unlike the destructive utopian nonsense of the climate crazed left. I learned that the fastest and most certain pathway forward to the future we all want and need, peace, prosperous, beautiful, as through the economic elevation of the absolutely poor, make the poor rich and the planet will improve, or at least get out of their way while they do to make themselves rich. Make the poor poorer, and this is the concrete plan. Remember, and things will get worse, perhaps worse beyond imagining. Therein lies the dirty little non-secret secret of the Democratic Party, and keep them poor. Strategy has worked on some segments of America quite well, as tens of millions of voters line up election after election, vote Democrat. No question asked. Even more masterfully, Democrats have convinced their base that while the party has not delivered on all or any of its promises, to think about how worse off they'd be if not for the Democrats to protect them from the evil Republicans. On the plus side, we're beginning to see what strategy fail, and I believe that failure will only compound. For example, as I reported in December 2021, Hispanic voters are abandoning the Democratic Party in droves. And then recent poll found that a recent poll found that 42% of Hispanic voters have walked away from the Democrats and towards the Republican Party since 2018. That is profound, warranted as suggested, but profound just the same. The bottom line, the Democrat Party has been hell-bent on creating a permanent underclass of America for it, figuring that keeping a majority of Americans poor, as they further assume, would also keep them dependent on the Democratic Party, not only to improve their lot in life, but also to protect them from the evil, rich, greedy corporations, so-called climate deniers, and by association, the Republican Party. Toss in massive wealth redistribution schemes, and there you have it. Kind of interesting that, Jordan Peterson is actually being ridiculed for his thoughts and being told that he can't actually join into the Twitter sphere because of the stuff that he's done, the stuff that he's said. And, I don't agree with him on all of it, but you're damn right when it comes down to the keeping the poor, it's true. That's what they're doing. They're making our middle class non-existent. And they're just having poor people and even poorer people behind the rich. There's nothing that you can do to change that. That's what they're doing. That's what they've been feeding us. They've written out billions and billions of dollars worth of bills in the last few weeks, and they're causing issues and problems that are creating things like this, where somebody has something to say about it and they're canceling them over it. It's not fair. It's not fair at all that this guy gets canceled for the words that he chose to use, or because he decided to say that somebody wasn't beautiful because he didn't see them as being beautiful. Again, we all view people differently. The thing that we don't view differently is when we're all poor. When we're all poor, we're all poor. We're all going to have the same issues. We're all going to have some problems paying our bills. We're all going to have problems feeding ourselves. And to think that it's not common is really kind of, mundane in itself. Is really something and very interesting that they're still disallowing him to join the sphere. Hey, what's up, Michael Hagan? How you doing? Illegals. Who the 2 million plus gone vote for? Trying to catch up on what you're actually trying to say here. I like curvy women, but morbidly obese is bad for anyone, man or woman. Yeah, I mean, I'm not skinny in any sense of the form or whatever. I'm probably a good, 20, 30 pounds overweight than I should be. I try to walk and I try to, hang out with the sun as much as I can to actually, get myself to actually feel better about myself, as opposed to, feeling like a big blob. For us to actually, take pictures of it and say, "Oh, look at this! There's nothing wrong with this at all." Well, there's nothing wrong with, as long as you feel that you're comfortable at that weight, and you don't see any health problems down the road coming from it. Really, like I said, I mean, she's pretty in her own right, but at the same time, being that overweight and praising it and putting her on a pedestal, like the front cover of a magazine, and saying, "Here you go. This is what beautiful is." I mean, I don't see how that's actually healthy for anybody. I'm trying to scroll back here a little bit so I didn't miss too much. No opinions allowed in the world. Looks great. Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, she's pretty in her own right. There's nothing about that.
I don't
Healthy
believe they
in
were
any
talking about her.
size. Chunky chicks need loving. Yeah, no, and I agree. I agree. There's nothing that we should. But putting them on a pedestal is something different, right? This article in itself actually is talking about the. It kind of goes into that third dynamic of what he actually, because he did a couple things and he went into it further, and he's talking about the Democrats making the poor poor. That's what the article was supposed to really be about. It really wasn't about the first two things. It was just said this thing, and he said another, and then he got deplatformed. Now he's saying this, and they're not going to allow him back into the Twitter sphere. And I don't think he really cares. I really don't. I think he's more concerned with the way he is. Schwartz says sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed.
That's facts.
I really want to address the whole Al Gore Greta thing. Can you ever address China and India? Funny how it's only the West that needs to suffer. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, everybody will suffer. What's coming down the line here. Online orders for that stuff is what gets you caught. Have you not read the handbook? Make your own with sandpaper, aluminum foil, nail files. I don't know what the heck that is. Comrade Jimmy is a Spartan. Yeah, you guys make sure that you check him out. Make sure you subscribe to him. He's very, very talented artist, and as you can see, he uses a pencil and piece of paper. He's not sitting there using some computer to try generating something.
What if I could? Definitely would if I could.
Potential criminal says, good night, Koolfrogg. Yep, good night. Have a good one. Sleep well. Ish says, I'm pretty skinny for my size, but want to add weight to it. That's a fight I never thought I would think. I guess. I mean, everybody does have their own struggle and their own demons that they have to deal with when it comes down to the weight of their body and the food that they consume. Obviously, some stuff isn't the best for people, and they continue to consume them anyway. Sugar being one of the worst.
Oh my gosh, I could rant about sugar.
Sinbad says, subbed Jimmy is awesome. Very relaxing to watch him sketch live. Yeah, that's what he does. He does live sketches, and you seen, if you didn't see his Trump drawing from earlier or whatever, very talented. All right, what the heck? Let's go, AmericaShirts. Watch, by the time us and I get to the point of being like, well, let's just go Wales, and he'll be like, I'm here.
I have arrived. Yep. That's what it's going to be.
I mean, the longest I've waited for him was like an hour and 45 minutes. So we're at an hour and 17 right now. It could be interesting how much longer we could wait for him before we cover anything else that's, like I said, I want him here for a few things. Not all these articles are necessarily for me.
Right.
Let's see. Let's do this one. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Let's do this. So this is a Whole Foods CEO deeply concerned about socialist takeover.
That was outgoing Whole Foods CEO John Mackey pushing back on the socialist takeover he sees plaguing American corporations. Mackey also saying that he wonders if conscious capitalism has helped these policies.
Bless you.
Adopting
Welcome, AmericaShirts.
environmental, social.
Hey, there he is.
Howdy.
Howdy doody.
Hey, Trucker John, how you doing? We're gonna go through this Whole Foods CEO deeply concerned about socialist takeover.
Oh yeah.
I'd covered about 4 of different smaller articles, not wanting to cover the stuff that I wanted you here for. So was
I am
finished.
gonna go take off and call that person though before you guys get started.
Okay, so before you take off, hold on here. Let's do this real quick. There you go.
Oh, sure.
Everybody can see what he had actually been doodling for the last hour and 20 minutes. You see, fun, very interesting.
Is that the Maria gun? Is that?
No, that's not the Maria gun, but that is a 9mm.
Uh,
And then I got Pikachu here holding a cookie.
Pikachu.
Yeah.
If
Random
anybody
people.
already hasn't, make sure you hit that link down for him. Give him a subscription. Get him up to that 100. He really deserves to be at that 100. I don't know why he's still sitting at 50.
Here's that Trump again for anyone who didn't see it. Might as well end on that.
Yeah, definitely end on Trump.
It's me, your favorite president.
See here real fast. I want to check out your channel real fast to see how much you've grown. Looks like you're at 54. You picked up at least one.
Hey, picked up a sub tonight. That's what's up. Thank you so much.
There you go. Everybody else, make sure you hit up that subscription for him. Throw the link down into the description for him. Click that link. Go check out his drawings. He's very, very talented. As you can see, he's very talented at what he does.
I like drawing famous people. Come join me sometime. I play music behind it and talk to people.
Gene, Sonichu was purposefully excluded from my art.
Oh. Well.
Awesome. Great job, Jimmy YouTube. Thank you. I appreciate it, Sinbad. Damn, Jimmy. Thank you. Oh, you guys are great. I appreciate all of you. All right. I'm going to take off before I take up more of your show. I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Anytime you would like, and have a wonderful night.
All right. Hey, you too. Have a good show.
Later.
Jimmy.
This is.
Oh.
All right. Let's see here. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, this guy's been pushing for a bunch of sort of, shall we say, socialist type things himself. And now he's like, oh, well, I just gave like Amazon and all these big corporations all this money and stuff. And now I think the things are getting a little bit too out of hand. Really?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I see that, TR. I just hit that refresh button on it and jumped up to 58. Thank you for those of you that subscribe to him. He'll greatly appreciate that. That's very, very kind of you to do that.
And government trends. Dagan, this is the issue right now with this administration pushing through their ESG climate change agenda, and it's led by the socialists.
He came up, he wrote a book called Conscious Capitalism and used frequently the phrase stakeholders when we're referring to all of the people who are kind of have stakes in a company that you run rather than just shareholders or the owners. So John Mackey has always been this person. He was called in the New Yorker years ago a right-wing hippie, but he is a libertarian through and through. He was opposed to the Obamacare subsidies. He has questioned some climate science. So I think the people who shop there don't really understand ethos and his beliefs about capitalism and the role of entrepreneurs in this country. But I said on Gutfeld last night, his stores in these deep blue cities like New York have done more to foment socialism because you have these people who are working behind the register, working hard, having to deal with rich liberals who are, quite frankly, bossy, nasty, and poor tippers. So that would make me want some kind of wealth redistribution too, if I had to work at a Whole Foods and deal with condescending big money liberals every day, which is exactly what it's like.
Lou, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect here to Mr. Mackey. I mean, he's a just phenomenally successful businessman, but you got to wake up. You hired and inspired most of the people you're bemoaning right now. So you've contributed to that, as Dagan has said. And what I do applaud him for, though, he is talking out about, look, this woke culture that wants to work in something that makes them passionate right out of the gate is something they need to just get over. I mean, all of us know that have come up working hard. I wasn't passionate about pumping gas in New Jersey. Work is work to get out of it, and to be entitled is just something that just needs to be eradicated from the younger cultures, and have them understand that you got to earn and live and work towards your passions to get those opportunities. You shouldn't just be given anything.
I encourage people to listen to the podcast. It's with Reason magazine, a libertarian magazine, because one of the things that it seems like was really a tipping point for John Mackey, and he's leaving. He sold the company to Amazon and is stepping down as CEO, is what happened during the pandemic, because he came under a lot of criticism from the employees. Employees were not allowed to wear Black Lives Matter mask at work because they have a uniform, if you will. Employees were upset about when they had hazard pay that went away after the beginning of the pandemic. And what really kind of tipped John Mackey over the edge, and he talks about it, is where workers were getting the excessive unemployment benefits that far outweighed in some places what they were even making at the store, and they just stopped working and never came back to work. So this is something that we've all talked about during the pandemic, and how it kind of upended work in this country, which, is a great source of pride and meaning in somebody's life. And he was, as an entrepreneur, just really upset by what government has done.
Yeah, it's a great point. We're going to continue following this.
I like Maniac Man's comment there. Remember to buy local, people.
Yeah, absolutely. Buy local. Don't worry about these big companies. Don't seriously, when you're actually looking at places like Walmart, whether it be Whole Foods or Whole Foods tied into Amazon nowadays, you got to wake up to some of it. You actually have to realize where you're buying your stuff from, who you're buying your stuff from. I've seen there's a couple comments. Have you do realize that some of these farmers markets are actually selling Walmart quality food, and when it comes down to it, if you know who's in your local community, and you can actually see who's actually doing what and why they're doing it, pay attention. Just pay attention to it all. I
go to smaller stores, regional stores, local stores.
Local stores.
Stop these mega corporations from taking over everything.
Right, exactly. I mean, I'm creature of habit, just like most of you, whatever. I do hit
if
up
you
Walmart
can. I understand
for certain things.
Right.
Right. As little as possible. When it comes to meat market, I do the actual local meat market. I don't deal with the local Walmart when it comes to the meat. Yeah, I'll go there for certain things. Certain canned goods, packaged goods, or whatever, because when you go there, it's obviously, a few cents cheaper. And, under this economy, what else are we going to do? We you got to do what you got to do when it comes down to it. But, start paying attention to where you're going, what you're actually doing, because you get people like that fool that, oh my God, this woke socialism thing is actually kind of screwing us. It's like, well, it's because the dollar isn't worth shit, and you're expecting us to go and still buy from your mega corporation.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have any control over anything now. And so now he's like, oh, well, now it's bad. Oh, well, what about when you had control over everything? Okay, you didn't have Black Lives Matter stuff. Okay, whatever. But what about everything else?
TR said, Tegan McDowell is great. She's one of my favorite Fox News hosts. I mean, she's all right, but I still look at Fox as being, paid opposition when it comes down to it. there's quite a few things that they should wake up to themselves that they still haven't. It's kind of disturbing when it comes down to it.
Oh, there's Germs. Hello, Germs.
Hey, Germs, how's it going? There's a couple
And
other
also
people
grow some of your own food yourself, people. I mean, grow something. Grow 10% of it. Like every day for lunch, you grow a couple tomato plants and maybe a couple of cucumbers and just make yourself cucumber and tomato sandwich. I don't know. I mean, just start doing things yourself. Start buying things. Start, I mean, it's good for you to get into the dirt and to grow things and pick it and be involved with that. You don't have to grow everything all the time, although we are headed into probably most likely a depression like we talked about. But I mean, as long as you grow something, you're going to help to benefit yourself in your health, as well as, stopping spending as much money as you normally would at some giant big mega corporation. So 10% of your own food that you can grow is always better than nothing. Way better than nothing. So try that out. Buy a lamb or calf.
Because
Yeah,
America Shirts is my co-host, I do often have him send suggestions on what he would prefer to actually cover. This is one of the things that he would like to cover. Let's cover that right now. We are at an hour and a half.
How many people are here? Well, we get the rewatch.
Right. We get more of a rewatch. And we had already said earlier when we were just chit-chatting with just myself and Jimmy or whatever, is the Vic Mignogna case is currently going on over on Nick Rekieta. Apparently, it's not going good. It's not going good for Vic Mignogna at all.
No.
Just saying.
Well, sorry there, Vicky. I don't know who the hell that is anyway. Not that much. Koolfrogg just freaking told me earlier. Ugh.
Yeah, I really don't get into this stuff myself, really, when it comes down to it. The only time that I actually heard from it was through Nick Rekieta.
Oh, you don't, do you?
No, I don't get into it. Apparently he's a voice actor for many cartoons of sort. It's just not my cup of tea. I don't really get into that. We get this little bit here from Savannah Hernandez. This is only 5 minutes long. We'll see what we can do here. I have not listened to this. This is something that come from AmericaShirts. Who? Yeah, exactly. Who?
Mayor Eric Adams of New York is upset because he's saying Republican governors, specifically Greg Abbott in Texas, are busing migrants to New York.
Did you want to play the original clip?
The Republican governors that are.
So what?
Did you want to play like the full thing from her, or did you just want to play this clip? Because I was kind of like bouncing that around with you there before I came on there. Sorry about the delay.
Is there something better that you'd like to play? This is on you. This is the stuff that you wanted to cover. So
yeah, I had said
you got something else that you want to share. You can share it up, and we'll stop sharing this one.
Because there is the original that because that's the Jack Posobiec clip of it. He kind of goes over it. Did you want to play the full thing that she does? And like I said, I'm asking you because I didn't know if you had watched it and that you prefer to do.
I haven't watched any of it, so this is all
okay.
you. If that's what you'd prefer to do, let's do that. I'm totally down with that. We got 32 people watching us at the moment, so
she's not very well liked by YouTube. She's still on YouTube. But let's see here. Whoops. Is this? Am I sure? Oh, okay, there we go. Let me make this a little bit fuller. So this is MVM Incorporated is a federally funded company that has been caught transporting migrant children across the country in the middle of the night. And if you remember, we had actually talked about similar things of this nature several months ago on this program here, where the federal government was flying people out in airplanes to all these different states. And we had played a clip from Senator What's-Her-Face from Tennessee. Freaking crap, what the hell's her name? Well, it'll come to me. But, blonde-haired woman. She has that Southern Tennessee accent, whatever. And she was on an interview, and we were playing it, and they were talking about how Tennessee was going to try to stop that from happening, because that's what they were doing. They were taking this was a federally funded thing, and they were taking these people.
Marsha Blackburn.
Yes, that's her name, Marsha Blackburn. Marsha. And so that's what was. So this is sort of like the same program here, right? And what you're going to see is what is kind of really going on from a guy that's in there behind the scenes with a lot of these people, and how this has transitioned now over the course of time. Well, it's not just right now, by the way. This has been going on with the children aspect. It used to be a lot of adults. Now it's a mix, and of course, more and more children. So again, they started off with children. These people might have just done children too. And again, this might not be the only federal funded organization that does this, or corporation that does this. But we did know that there were adults that were being trafficked through. We do know that they were being taken in through airplanes and such. And so this type of program was happening. But what you're going to see here is, as you see on the screen here, MVM Incorporated is a federally funded company that has been caught transporting migrant children across the country in the middle of the night. So now we're focusing on the children here. So let's go ahead and play this. And again, you can find this on Sav Says. It'll be up here in that top corner. I really like Savannah Hernandez. Sav Says.
Now, you might have heard the story of how...
I didn't read that off. One employee, troubled by what he has seen, has decided to blow the whistle on what he says are potentially dangerous practices. And she's on Truth Social. You'll see it up here in the top left-hand corner.
Now, you might have heard the story of how illegal immigrants were flown to suburban New York in the middle of the night. Many of you might have the question, who's funding this and which company is doing that? Well, that company is called MVM Inc., and they're doing that with your taxpayer dollars.
Good night, Alan.
We have a whistleblower
later.
employee who's going to be talking to us about how the same company is shipping migrant children throughout the U.S. So thank you so much for joining us today. Just to get started, for those of us in the audience who might not know what MVM Inc. is, can you explain to us what your company is and what they do?
It's a company that focuses on getting, they call it UCs, unaccompanied children, unaccompanied minors, getting them from point A to point B. And most of the time, point A is from a shelter all throughout Texas and all across the country. And point B is with a sponsor. Most of the time, it's a family member. But lately, the numbers are so crazy that it's no longer family members. It's family friends, people who are willing to take them in. And a lot of the times they don't even know each other. So my job is to show up. I get a blue folder that tells me where I'm going, who's my partner, and where we're going to be picking kids up. And my job is to be with them on the airplanes, be with them on the buses. Sometimes it's buses, and sometimes it's charter planes. When it's charter planes, we move anywhere between 200 to 300 kids on one plane. It won't just be one plane. It will be 2, 3 planes at a time that leave. I do
Hello,
know
Pam.
that when we start off, we'll drop off in Texas. So we'll go from one plane in Texas to another. And then these same charter planes will go to New York, we'll go to California, we'll go to Washington, and then they'll finish off in Oregon or another state nearby. So it's not just one state, it's not just one drop off. You go to one destination, drop off the kids that are getting off there, and then you continue on.
So if you could give us an estimate, how many children per month do you think are being moved just in the Texas area?
Well, like I said, it's between all the offices. It's in the thousands. I say 8 to 10, but that's in 1 week. So in a month, I would say around 40,000, 30,000 kids.
Holy shit, people. Holy shit. Just to
Texas area.
Well, like I said.
Right, she asked the question.
How many?
If you could give an estimate, how many children per month?
How many children per month do you think are being moved just in
the Texas area alone?
Texas area.
Well, like I said, it's between all the offices. It's in the thousands. I say 8 to 10, but that's in 1 week.
8 to 10,000 in one week. These aren't adults. These are children. These are tens of thousands of little children being thrown on planes and being taken all throughout the United States to God knows who.
So in a month, I would say around 40,000, 30,000 kids.
30 to 40,000 kids a month. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how long has this been going on here? Well, think back to, I don't know, when a certain somebody got sworn in, right? Border's gone. Everything's gone. Oh, look. Now they do this. Federal government does this. Oh, but ladies and gentlemen, these are families. They're good families. They all want to come across. They all want to do this sort of thing. No, actually, it's coyotes from the drug cartel people. Bring them up from the southern border. They either use the children as cover to try to get into the United States. They'll take their passport. That's not their passport. They'll take their papers that the federal government gives to them. And she'll talk about this here in a little bit. But they're being used by the drug cartels to traffic other grown adults in to the United States. And sometimes the children are just trafficked. They're thrown at these adults and no one ever hears from them again. Oh, but hey, that's okay. It's just 30, 40,000 kids a month are just being dumped. Where are all these children? Does Joe Biden want to tell us where all of these children are? And see, this is what I mean when I say Joe Biden needs to be impeached and Kamala Harris needs to be impeached and whoever the hell else in his administration, I don't give a damn. Start impeaching them all. This is, in my humble opinion, a crime against humanity to be dumping these kids into the United States like this. To be leaving the border open, to be incentivizing it, and not only to be incentivizing it, to be paying for it to happen. Excuse me. They're paying for this to happen. The federal government is paying these contractors to go off and dump these kids everywhere. To dump other illegal alien migrant people everywhere with buses and planes. But just the children alone, 40,000 kids a month. Let's calculate this. Let's do a little bit of math here, okay, shall we? Shall we do a little bit of math here? Let's do 40,000. All right, 40,000 times, how many months?
480,000 in 1 year, and it's been
so
500,000 months.
kids. That's just children.
That's just in the 12 months. He's been there for 18 months, so you got to add another 30% to that. So then you're looking at another 240,000. You're looking at 720,000 children easily in the 18 months.
It's almost 1 million children. I mean, we're getting there. I mean, we're in August now, getting into September. I mean, they'll keep this up. It'll be 1 million kids here. very soon. Oh, but we love them. We love these people, the Democrats say. Oh, we love these people. No, they don't. They hate them. They don't give a damn. They throw them in here as anchor babies. The drug cartels use them for everything that they want. And then other people use them for other perverted and otherwise other interests of their own personal nature and other things as well. Oh, there you go. TR Greater X. Koolfrogg shirts is right. This is an actual crime against humanity and not like the way the left tends to throw the term around, an actual crime. Yeah. Yeah. And see, this is what I mean, folks. The border is unsecure. And so this is an attack on us, but this is also damaging and harming families and children who are being told by these federally funded organizations, come through the border, they go through with the cartels, and then their kids are just taken and trafficked wherever the hell they want. Dumped all over the U.S., God knows who. I mean, this is why Biden needs to be impeached and needs to be impeached damn now. Not tomorrow. Not the next day, not the next week, now. Oh, but the Republicans don't care about people. No. They don't care about people. They are the ones who are probably getting money from some money from the cartels. Not all of their money comes from the cartels, but they probably get some from there, allegedly. The Dems.
M. Swart says, "What is wrong with all of you? Dems never break the law and care about every one of us."
Right.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
This is outrageous.
Ish says,
totally
"Shirt,
outrageous.
stop. Please stop and think." Oh, okay.
But
Continue.
again, these people don't care about these kids. These people don't care about any of these people. This is used as a political ploy to try to collapse the first world, to try to flood our borders with all these people because of all the lockdowns that happened previously. And they're trying to flood us and flood our area, take away the jobs, try to get them to vote Democrat, because that's what they end up doing. When they first come here, they think, oh, Joe Biden's a great guy. They think the Democrat people are good people, da-da-da. They let us in, whatever. These people are uneducated, a lot of them. They don't understand the politics of the United States. They don't understand the parties.
Yeah.
They're not,
Yeah.
they don't speak English. They don't
Says,
know.
"But the potatoes, Kamala to go and help." Yeah, sure. I remember her line. Well, I haven't been to Europe either, but she's never visited that border. She has never gone down there to see exactly what's going on. She's refused. Continue.
But yeah, I mean, so these people need to be impeached and they need to be removed from office. This is a crime against humanity, in my humble opinion. These children, there's probably at the end of however many months after this, there's going to be 1 million children that are just going to be dumped all over the place with God knows who. This is an outrage. This is a legitimate outrage. This is the trafficking of human beings and the trafficking of children being funded by the Biden administration. So let me continue this.
So that's a lot of kids. Can you talk to us about the process?
Yeah.
From, again, pickup all the way to where you're dropping these kids off to? Can you kind of explain to us how that works?
So in the morning, we will meet in the parking lot around 5 in the morning, a little bit beforehand. By the time we have the kids, the buses, there are screens where we just pull them down and you can't see inside the bus. And normally the airports we go to, they're not big city airports, and normally it's dead and there's just us and there's no one else.
And you actually provided us with some documentation here Can you explain to us what this paper is? When do you receive this documentation? What is this?
So that document, we receive it from those who are hired to house the kids. And that's their way of saying, hey, we released the kid to you guys. We passed it on to you, the kid on to you guys. Now it's your guys' job to pass this paper onto the sponsor. And this paper, what it is, it holds a form of social security number for the kids. It holds information regarding the child, where they're going to live. And this is also used as an ID to go to register into schools wherever they're going. A lot of times when we arrive to where it is they're going, the sponsor will say, hey, my sister was able to get a driver's license in LA. They were able to get a driver's license in New York City with this paper. Do you have it? And that's the paper that they're talking about.
And how are the kids being given these papers? I mean, when they come across the border, do they have identification? What's going on with that?
A lot of the times the kids will tell us that they threw their papers away because they stand a better chance of coming into the country without the papers. And it's different stories, but that's the one we hear the most right now. And that ID is whatever information they gave them at the border.
So when you land in these cities, you're meeting these sponsors that are there to pick up the children.
Correct. And when we get to these cities...
So again, just to recap that, I hope it's obvious to everybody, these so-called friends of these children, or friends of the adults of these children, so-called because there's nothing to prove that at all, just take the freaking paper and go, oh, hey, I'm going to apply this to this individual here that's a grown adult, and then we're going to go off and get a driver's license to do whatever the hell we want. Oh, that's nice. Just use the freaking kid who's not even your kid. Oh, by the way, is this kid going to be treated well? Is this kid going to be thrown into a dumpster in an alley? I mean, who knows? Who freaking knows? The Biden administration is just handing little children off to people, paying these individuals to do this, like himself, and just paying these people to hand children off to God knows who. All to get the adults who want to act criminal and take papers that don't belong to them and do that. These people are funding this kind of criminality so they can get driver's licenses, so they have a social security number. Oh, they get to register to vote. Oh, look, they go get a job. They take your job. And where's the kid? Oh, I don't know. I think we forgot to feed him this week. Oh, well, he's in the closet. I mean, what the hell? I mean, this is a bunch of horse shit. This is child trafficking funded by our federal government, by the Biden administration. Biden administration. Okay, Joe Biden needs to be impeached now.
Ellsworth says, wait, so they couldn't get verified driver's license to fly because I couldn't find my 20-year-old marriage license, even though my name was an old one, but they just get social security numbers and IDs? Yep.
Yeah,
Simple
they just
as
get a
that.
paper.
They're just going to give it to them.
They just give them a paper with it. And there you go. There's the thing. And then an adult just takes it from them. And then it's like, oh, this is me now. And where's the kid? I don't know. Who cares?
The Texas governor sent 2 busloads of illegals to New York City. The mayor of New York was mad as a hornet. Can you find that story? I can see if I can't look it up while he's going through this and see if I can't find it. But yeah, because he had done so, it sounded like the mayor of New York City was actually going to send busloads of people down into Texas to actually go door to door and try getting people to vote differently than they ever had.
Yeah, and again, a lot of these people, and I know we talked about before with, La Familia, with ID crisis and all, but all of these new people that come in, because they're flooding the place with new people. All these new people that are coming in, they're getting IDs, they're getting social security numbers, and they're going to want them to vote. And who are they going to vote for but the party that let them in? Now, it's not going to be until after 1, 2, maybe 3 election cycles before they realize, oh, shit, I shouldn't have voted for these people because these people want the thing that I ran away from. But by then it's too late. They're in power. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this. They're being used as cheap labor. They're being used to hand off to pedophiles and God knows who the hell else. They're being used by the cartels to get their people into the United States by saying, oh, look, like, I'm with the child, or I'm with or I'm a sponsor or whatever. And then they get IDs and they get social security cards and so forth. Get them secured in the United States and so forth. They'll go on and explain this a little bit more, I think. And again, to get the Democrats
before you
in
hit
power.
that play button, real quick, if you actually go and simply Google buses of immigrants to New York, there's an article from a week ago, and there's an article from today. It sounds as though as he's doubled down and sent another couple bus loads of people to New York. So, quote is, we've got to secure our borders because the Biden administration is not securing it. And then the reason why we began putting people on buses in the first place is because the Biden administration, they were literally dumping migrants off in small little towns of 10 to 12,000 people, and they were completely overwhelmed. Is the worst type of politics. It's hateful politics to raise his national profile, and they know that.
And think about that too,
You
folks.
should not-
You flood a small town with a bunch of poor people who can't feed themselves, who don't know what the hell's going on, who can't speak the language, and you just dump them all off there, and they're just wandering around the streets and like, oh God, I'm hungry, I'm this, I'm that, like, what's up with this? I need new clothes because they got ripped up or whatever. Like, oh, what are you supposed to do about that? It's going to collapse the town is what it's going to do. And that's the whole purpose of this. They're flooding the first world with the third world to collapse it. That's the other aspect of this as well. And they're using these human beings to do this. This is a crime against humanity in every way, shape, and form. With these children and with all the rest of these people, the whole journey up to the southern border, across the southern border, now we have this with the children. I mean, this is a total national disgrace. It's a total national outrage. Everyone needs to call their congressmen and their senators. Joe Biden needs to be impeached now and removed from office. Border security is national security. Border security is national security. And of course, infrastructure security is national security. Electric grid security is national security. Food security is national security. And then, of course, Joe Biden's compromise with the Chinese is also national security. He needs to be impeached.
Right? So then real quick, TR says, I'm sure some of these people are bad people, but I don't think they're bad people per se. They got here illegally and should go home. But I understand wanting a better life. Do it legally, though. Exactly.
Well, yeah, but that's the
not
thing. These
telling
people
you
don't
not
care.
to
They're
come.
just
We're
using
telling
them.
you that you need to come here the correct way. And if they're considering this, quote unquote, the correct way, why is somebody like the New York governor complaining when it comes down to it? New York City is self-declared as a sanctuary city. Being a sanctuary city in their own, why would they complain that these busloads got shipped up to them? Is there something wrong with these people? Is there something wrong with the people on the buses? Or is it that they only want to ship them to the small towns to bolster their population of people that think that Joe Biden is the best person because, oh, he opened the border and let me in? Go ahead.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I mean, these she's making the statement, and she's correct in large part, because there are a lot of people that just want to have a better life, and they're being told, because again, their country is collapsing because of all of the lockdowns, because of the corruption in their country as well, partially caused by the United States and the IMF, the World Bank, and so forth, and these third world countries, and they're collapsing those third world countries, flooding the first world with it, and then making us all equally shit. And that's what this is all about. And they're using them to do this. And of course, the other reasons that I mentioned as well are all aspects of this. And they're using these human beings and these children to accomplish these goals. This is a crime against humanity, this whole thing with the border. And Joe Biden needs to be impeached for it now. So let me continue to play this.
So when you land in these cities, you're meeting these sponsors that are there to pick up the children.
Correct. And when we get to these cities, we're told to wait for them in baggage claim.
Regarding the sponsors as well, like how are the children tied to these sponsors?
Yes, so the children give the name to the people at the shelters, and the shelters will reach out to this person, and then they have their process that is very easy to, how can I say it? When they look into the person, if they see they're not related, they don't care. They'll prove it, and they send the kid off to this person. And the sponsor will tell us, oh, I'm not a family member, I'm not the kid's father, I'm not the kid's mother, I'm not blood related, it's just a friend. And it makes you wonder, like, what do you mean just a friend? Like, who are you? But we're not allowed to bring these things up, as long as it's a person on the paper, as long as it's a person who shows up and gives you the proper documentation, then we leave the child. So when we first started doing this,
pause it
they
for a
were
second.
always family members.
Yeah.
And
Ish said something about they're giving him a free pass. This would be blamed on Kamala. And then she said, for Mrs. To get what she wants, she got to get the VP then get the press by using the 25th. Potentially, if you want me to read your stuff out in particular, maybe put my name in there so that I actually see the stuff, and I'll make sure that I try reading your stuff out. But yeah, I mean, it could be something that they give him a free pass and just blame it all on her.
What
That
she's
way
getting at, I think
doesn't
she's
even-
talking about Nancy Pelosi. She's saying, in order for she to get what she wants, she's got to get rid of the VP and Biden. And again, we're gonna take control of the House. I am very confident about that. Like 70-80% confident. We're gonna take the majority in the House, and we're gonna get, hopefully, pray to God, a solid MAGA speaker. At that point, that speaker, my opinion, should be prepared to take over as the president for a year and a half or so. However long it needs. This is a total disaster. This is going to destroy this country. It's going to destroy these people that are coming in. I mean, this is all just an outrage. And everything else that I've said about, the infrastructure, shoving us off a cliff, the inflation, everything, they all need impeached. Everybody in his administration, but particularly, again, Biden and, of course, Harris. Get rid of them. Impeach Joe Biden and his entire administration, or just him and Kamala. Let's
a
continue.
lot of the times now, kids will say it, or we find out ourselves that they're not related. Or in the beginning, we can easily tell that it was the family because they would cry, they would hug them. But now it's no more crying, no more hugging. It's just, hey, I'm here to pick you up, and that's it. They won't look at the kid. They will be upset that they have to show up to the airport. Sometimes we're like, hey, you're only 20, 30 minutes away. We're traveling with the kid all day, and we brought him far away for you. and they'll still say, hey, he's taking time out of my day that I have to come get him. And it's weird. It's very weird and sad and frustrating because you get to know the kid throughout the day and you want to be happy for him. But then when you get to where you're going and you're like, this is the person that they approved, like it's kind of upsetting. I'm guessing they're overwhelmed and they can't find family members. And if they can't find family members, they want to get these kids out of the shelter as soon as possible so they will approve anybody that the kids say, hey, I want to go with him or I want to go with her. There was this one time in San Antonio where it looked like it was a lady in her 30s and she was accepting a boy that was 17, 16 years old. And then she was also accepting a boy that was not related to them, to the other boy, but they still somehow had the same sponsor. And things run through your head and you're like, hey, if they're not related, how do they meet? And a lot of the times we hear, oh, through Facebook. I was talking to her through Facebook, through social media, and it's kind of creepy.
You said that you guys are so overwhelmed right now, overwhelmed to the point where MDM Inc. is mass hiring people and they're not being properly trained, which is leading to negligence when it comes to identifying these children and their sponsors properly. Can you talk?
I mean, this is just insane. I mean, he literally just told you they're just dumping him off, and probably some pervy talks to somebody on Facebook or talks to like a bunch of kids on Facebook or something. I don't know. And the kid's just like, I don't know. There's an adult. I was talking to him. He seems nice. Okay. I don't know. They don't have parents. They don't have family members. There's no other grown adults around these kids. I mean, this is a total outrage. This is a total crime against humanity. I mean, literally handing kids off to people that don't even want to be bothered to pick up the kids. Oh, but we're a sponsor. We really want them to come to America. No, you don't. It's just somebody else. It's just another piece of meat you can use. This is dehumanizing. This is making these children out to be like cattle, like animals. This is evil. This is a total disgrace. And Biden needs to be impeached and removed from office. Kamala needs to be removed, and anyone else in his administration. Now.
Talk to us about that.
It's one of the emails that I showed you. It's an email where they're pinpointing that, hey, you guys are accepting stuff that was the IDs that were not approved. You guys are letting these kids go with people who are not on the list, who were not approved. And sometimes there are people who are not even on any documents for the child. And it tends to happen where these sponsors will show up and they will say, I'm here for the kid, but it's really the sister or a neighbor because the sponsor didn't feel like going. And these kids are being sent off with neighbors, with people who are nowhere near related to these kids. And it's just a mess right now.
So the sponsor isn't even getting the kids half the time. It's a so-called neighbor or friend or neighbor's friend or what the hell? We're beyond just dropping them off with some rando quote-unquote sponsor or whatever the hell the kid is. It's just, oh, well, he's the friend of the neighbor's friend of the college former roommate friend. Okay. Bye-bye, kitty. I mean, what an outrage.
None of the rules that we're supposed to follow are being followed. And that's why that notice went out saying, hey, you guys need to pick it up and you guys need to accept the proper documentation. I want to say the biggest thing is what's going on right now is too many border crossings, too many kids. And these companies will take all this money from taxpayer money in the millions, but they won't do the hiring process the right way. A lot of people get hired and their background hasn't even come in yet. They'll get emails a month or 2 months into the job saying, hey, you need to do your background. And it's crazy because, it could be a child offender, it could be a bad person, and they have access to kids every day.
So these people that are then within the planes, working with the kids before, during, and after they're on the plane, traveling, or the bus, or whatever, I guess, but planes particular, they don't even know these people's backgrounds. So this could be an entire child trafficking operation from start to finish, and the federal government is just paying this company to just hire whoever the hell they want. Where are they being trafficked? What are they being trafficked for? Where are they going? Who knows? They might just get 20 kids and stick them all in a cage, and then every day they do something to them. Allegedly, in Minecraft. If you know what I mean. I mean, that's stuff that people don't necessarily want to think about. But that kind of shit happens. Especially when we're dealing with cartel people, and especially when we're dealing with a lot of evil people. I mean, this is an outrage.
So just to recap here too, because I want to make sure I understand you correctly, because the border is so overwhelmed, because there's so many children, they're mass hiring these people on top of them not being properly trained and not vetting the sponsors that they're passing these children off to. The escorts as well, a part of this company, also aren't even getting background checks.
Correct. And there's no proper vetting right now saying, hey, these kids are really related to this person. No, it could be a child offender, a sex offender wanting to take one of these kids into the homes, and the government won't let it happen.
And that's what I wanted to ask too. How does somebody become a sponsor for one of these children? How are these sponsors approved, like you said?
As long as the kid says, hey, this is my family member, they can lie and say it's my aunt or my uncle. They won't care. They'll prove it. Supposedly the rule is they have to fingerprint. The sponsor has to do fingerprints, and a lot of times they do, but we can tell in the packets that they give us when we pick up the kids, a lot of the times we can tell, hey, this person just got approved, and they're not even the relative, or they don't even know the child. We see things, and we do this often to the point where we can tell they don't know each other at all.
And why would you want to sponsor a migrant child? I mean, what are the benefits of sponsoring one of these children?
The kids will say, hey, they promised us $2,000 after 2 or 3 months of being with my sponsor, and I can't wait till they buy me this with that money. And the sponsors they know that the flights are paid for, they know that the money's coming in. They will mention these things, and it's very upsetting to us.
And who's paying them these thousands of dollars?
The federal contractors that are receiving taxpayer money.
And for MVM, again,
So let me just rewind this, just so we...
Sex offender.
He sponsors.
And a lot of the times we can tell, hey, even the relative, and we do this all.
Why would you want to sponsor a migrant child?
Why would you want to sponsor a migrant child, right?
I mean, what are the benefits of sponsoring one of these children?
The kids will say, hey, they promised us $2,000 after 2 or 3 months of being with my sponsor, and I can't wait till they buy me this with that money. And the sponsors they know that the flights are paid for, they know that the money's coming in. They will mention these things, and it's very upsetting to us.
And who's paying them these thousands of dollars?
The federal contractors that are receiving taxpayer money.
And for MVM, again, you had...
So there's money involved as well. I mean, this is next level, ladies and gentlemen. This is next level. This is next level. Money's being passed around all throughout this process. Children are being completely disregarded. Who the hell cares? I mean, this is a total humanitarian crisis. This is a crime against humanity. This is an utter outrage to this country and to mankind right now. This is insane. Joe Biden needs to be impeached now.
Showed me this article that they had previously signed a federal contract for $136 million back in 2021. So that money coming from, again, the taxpayers is going towards funding these children throughout the U.S.
Correct. Flights, food. I want to say it ranges from 2,000 to 5,000 to pay for a trip of two coworkers and 2 kids. But a lot of the times these groups are 5 kids, 3 coworkers, and it's multiple offices.
Democratic Mayor Eric Adams of New York is upset because he's saying Republican governors, specifically Greg Abbott in Texas, are busing migrants to New York. Is it the Republican governors that are to blame for these buses of migrants, or is it, companies like yours that are flying all of these migrants to New York?
No, it's us. It's us. We've been doing it for since Biden came into the administration, a little bit before that, and it's picked up way a lot when Biden came into office.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't realize this to start with. Let's see here what this article says here. Let's just do a little bit of reading, shall we? Biden showers cash on ex-CIA contractor to transfer migrants. Oh, MVM Incorporated, a company previously perhaps best known for acting as a contractor for the CIA and the NSA in Iraq, has in recent years become a major player in the U.S. government's treatment of asylum seekers. Okay. Because we all can trust the CIA, right? The CIA contractors and people that work for the CIA forever. They don't do bad, crazy, shady, insane things, do they? We can trust them. Totally trust them. Right? Right? The CIA, that's all they think about is caring after children, right? That's their main goal, after all, right? Oh, wait. No, actually. As a matter of fact, I think I can pretty well say this. The CIA has been known in the past by certain people, certain sources, to be partially, if not fully involved in a little bit of trafficking themselves, allegedly.
A little bit before that, and it's picked up way a lot when Biden came into office.
Read the question on the screen.
We tend to come to these places when it's less.
I mean, do I have to repeat myself? I mean, do I have to go back?
No, you don't.
I'm not talking to you, Koolfrogg. I mean, like, we've already been through. I mean, they get money.
They removed the Remain in Texas thing on purpose. They removed it on purpose to actually allow a massive amount of people across the border, including children, that are being trafficked here. Would I rather them be released out in the street alone? No, they shouldn't be here, period. At all. It's a national security issue, and we're just allowing it to continue to happen. Continue.
We have a rival in the administration a little bit before that, and it's picked up way a lot when Biden came into office. And we tend to come to these places when it's less packed.
Hello, Fred.
We have arrival times of 11 p.m. at night, 1 in the morning. Sometimes we get flown to a city nearby where there's a smaller airport, and then we drive into the city. That way no one sees us. We'll drive in a bus, a charter bus, in vans, and we try to avoid the public. But we do this, I want to say, between all the offices in Texas. They're all over the country, but in Texas is where it's most busy. We move anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 kids a week. There's charter flights out of El Paso, and then there's smaller groups between 30 to 40 workers who will take anywhere between 100 to 200 kids. And this is in El Paso, Pecos, Texas, and Calvin, Texas.
And again, this is all being funded federally via taxpayer dollars.
It is funded by the government, but we take orders from ORR, the Office of Refugee Resettlement, and they're the ones who let the kids come into the country, go with the families. There's two contracts. So there's a nice contract with our company, and there's an ORR contract. ICE contract is for deportations, but there's not a lot of deportations going on right now. So the most busiest work is with ORR, Health and Human Services, HHS.
And is that why you originally got into this? Because you thought that you were going to be helping kids out and, you know,
Pause it.
helping them achieve a better life?
Correct.
So, I threw a couple things up on the screen. Private and public says they don't protect these kids. Have you seen what they house them in once they come in? Empty storefronts, warehouses, packed everyone in like sardines, all sitting on the ground waiting to move to the next location. It's ridiculous. So then Trucker John says, but they're here, and they have to be placed somewhere safe until all sorted out. It's not trafficking. Wrong. It is trafficking because, like private and public just said, they're not just bringing them in and safely housing them. They're actually packing them in storefronts and warehouses, trafficking them, moving them from place to place until one or two things happens to them, where either they're sold to somebody or they no longer exist.
And again, as we just talked about, I mean, you know, with this particular
It's
program
straight
that's
up
going on here,
child abuse.
yeah, and they're just, oh, I'm the friend of the sponsor's neighbor's cousin's nephew's former roommate. Here, I'll take the kid. Huh? What? Oh, that's not safe. So, anywho's, let's.
And at first, it was going great. But ever since the Biden administration, as time's gone by, it's just it's a mess. There's no way of explaining what's going on here except that it's a big mess. There's no way of knowing where to start and make it better because we're not getting any help.
How do you know that these kids coming across the border are actually kids?
There's no way of knowing. A lot of the times they got more facial hair than I do. They got tattoos. And the kids will say, hey, that kid threatened me in there, but he also mentioned that he's not the age that he says he is. And the kids talk amongst themselves and they know who to stay away from.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. This has been such an eye-opener.
So they also have in their teenage boys, basically, with tattoos and facial hair. Oh, that doesn't scream drug cartel-y stuff to me at all. I mean,
Again,
like, this
Trucker
is
John,
a totally unsafe
they have
environment.
70 to get the vetted family members or a sponsor. You're ridiculous? You're telling us we're ridiculous because we're actually listening to what this guy actually has to say. We know what's happening to them. They're not getting brought into any vetted family or sponsor anywhere. They're being packed like sardines through warehouses, and they're being shipped across the United States and sold to the highest bidder. It's not true. Ridiculous.
17 years is the cutoff. Well, I mean, a 16-year-old boy that's, trained to be a cartel guy. I mean, he's not going to give a damn what the hell happens to kids. Smack them around, be mean to them, whatever. I mean, God only knows. Maybe he's taking them along with him because, as I said before, that's how some of these people get their IDs. That's how some of these people get what they want in America, and they're druggies.
Trucker John just said that's bullshit what you just said.
Again, just an insight into what's really going on behind the scenes regarding where taxpayer dollars are going to, regarding where these children are going to, how they're being improperly given to random adults throughout the United States. Thank you for being brave enough to speak out regarding what's happening.
That is Sav Says. You can find her on Rumble, on YouTube. And of course, as you saw there, advertised the entire time on Truth Social. Please go and subscribe to her on all these different platforms. She is fantastic. She does fantastic work on various different things. Some of it's a little bit, playful, like going on a man on the street type thing, asking people questions. But she does a lot of reporting like this. She does a fantastic job. She worked for Alex Jones and InfoWars there for a while. Now she's working with the Post Millennial, helping them out as well. She worked with the Blaze for a little while too. She's been around the block a little bit, but she's fantastic. Excuse me, she's really fantastic. So go subscribe to her on all those platforms.
Tweety says MVM website
Rumble,
confirms
and
the stuff the man said. Interesting.
So I want to bring up Jack Posovic's little opinion on this.
Sav says has been on Viva and Barnes. Sav says has also been with several other people in several different places or whatever. The Adam Krigler show, I believe she shows up there once a week. Just saying. She's very popular and she's very well known for the stuff that she does.
Oh, she's very good. I mean, she's very smart.
Eric Adams of New York is upset because he's saying Republican governors, specifically Greg Abbott in Texas, are busing migrants to New York. Is it the Republican governors that are to blame?
Yeah, she was on Viva and Barnes
yesterday.
Is it, companies like yours that are flying all of these migrants to New York?
No, it's us. It's us. We've been doing it for since Biden came into the administration, a little bit before that. And it's picked up way a lot when Biden came into office. And we tend to come to these places when it's less packed. We have arrival times of 11 p.m. at night, 1 in the morning. Sometimes we get flown to a city nearby where there's a smaller.
Good night, private public. Have a good one.
Definitely no one sees us.
Oh yeah, night. Later. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.
We'll drive in a bus, a charter bus, in vans, and we try to avoid the public. But we do this, I want to say, between all the offices in Texas. They're all over the country, but in Texas is where it's most busy.
And this is just an incredible story. Obviously, we know it's a war room. Steve Bannon had this morning. We've got more details coming out on it on the hour. So make sure you go to postmillennial.com. You check out this. You understand what's going on. A federal whistleblower has come forward.
Wait. Can we read that off? Just
MVM Incorporated website lists job openings that are titled as traffic companions and transporters, etc. Yeah, right, Trucker John. Good night, all, and vote blue in 22. Sure. No, not going to do that. Not going to vote for another dumbass Democrat. I've been there, done that. I've moved past that, and I've learned to do better than think that a socialist Democrat is going to do anything good for anybody, period, ever.
I could say a few words, but I shall refrain myself from doing so.
Good night, Trucker John.
After watching this,
sleep well.
After watching this, anyway, I shall refrain myself.
To Savannah Hernandez.
I shall restrain
Savannah
myself.
Hernandez, who was with me, by the way, in Davos. You guys remember that? She was the one, you might remember her as, why are you detaining this journalist? Why are you detaining this journalist? Why are you detaining this journalist?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Turn off the camera.
She's the one that came up and saved Jack Posobiec, quote unquote. Like, she ran up and she did all that, at WEF.
Journalist.
She's great.
Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. That was Savannah Hernandez. If you can't see her on the videos, because she was filming the video, getting in their faces. Well, now Sav is back with
Sinbad, that is the response. Yeah, just pray.
Amazing exclusive. This federal whistleblower.
If this can't get
tells
through,
the
pray.
truth about the secret night flights.
And that's not
that the Biden
patronizing.
regime is
Just
conducting.
that's the best response.
2,000 to 3,000 children were told per week. And that's just one office. If you include all the offices from the border, it may be as many as 10,000 a week. And they're flying them all across. So you're talking what? That's 40,000 per month. They're flying them all across the country. Sometimes they have sponsors. Sometimes they're vetted. Sometimes they're unvetted. The whistleblower, we're told, and this is according to postmillennial.com, so Sav's working with them to put this all together. An anonymous whistleblower has come forward, sitting down with Sav Hernandez, who works as a travel youth care worker for a federally funded contractor, and shares that tens of thousands of unaccompanied migrant children, so 2,000 to 5,000 a week, are being bussed and flown throughout the United States and handed off to, quote, unvetted adult sponsors. The employee, and she actually gives us the name, MVM Inc., said the company's main focus is getting unaccompanied minors from, quote, point
CIA
A shelters
contractor,
to point B
NSA
sponsors
contractor.
across the United States. However, due to the overwhelming number of border crossings, the employee shared that new hires for MVM are not given proper
We
background
made TR speechless.
Yeah, and TR, I mean, this is the reality of this. I mean, this is beyond just simply like, well, the Democrats have bad policy. No, they know what they're doing, and they're doing it anyway. That's the issue. It's not that we have to argue semantics or, well, gee, don't you understand? This is going to be bad. They do understand. They don't give a damn. They'll get their CIA lackeys, NVM, and they'll get them to do it. They don't give a damn. This is reality, people. I'm not talking down to anybody. I'm just saying very strongly here. This is reality. This is what's happening with these people. These are globalist hacks that want to do this to, as I said, not only with these kids, the drug cartel people and so forth, and there's money that gets exchanged through there. Of course, there's the interest of degrading and trying to destroy the United States with drug cartel activity, gang activity, drugs, all that. The Chinese, the fentanyl coming across the border, there's all of that that's causing all kinds of death and destruction all over the United States, which suits their interest for trying to, degrade and try to get rid of the United States. But again, I mean, they're trying to collapse the first world with this wave from the third world as well. I mean, everything that we talked about. I mean, that's the reality of this. That's the humanity of this. And the Democrats want to make you look like that you're immoral. I don't mean like every single person that's a registered Democrat. I'm just saying like the Democrats, the party, the politicians. They want to make you look like, and even rhinos will try to make you look like that you're a heartless, callous monster if you don't want this to happen. Well, no. It is those elite people and those politicians and those major corporations that want cheap labor and all the rest. They're the ones that want this, and they're the ones that don't give a damn because they're getting people in that they want. Their interests are being met all across the board, and they don't care how many human beings from the Southern Hemisphere or from Central America that they have to expend to do that. By putting up a border barrier and by stopping that, and by stopping this trafficking and all the rest of this stuff, this is going to benefit people, period. If they want to legally enter into the United States, there are such things as ports of entry. There's such things as, hey, going through the port of entry, seeking asylum. But a lot of these people are coming through, again, as we've said before, and that's another aspect of this as well, the people that are just walking right through the border and so forth. That's a huge, big issue there. God only knows who a lot of these people are. But these people, these children in particular that we're talking about, I mean, this is a total crime. This is total evil. And it needs to damn stop now. So anyways, that's the reality here. They know what they're doing, and they're doing it anyway. They know this is causing damage. They know this. They know exactly where this is leading and where this is going. They know exactly all those things that I just talked about and that Sav's just brought up with that guy, and that guy was talking back and forth with her. They know this stuff. They're the ones that hire them to do it. They know exactly what this is. They know exactly what they're doing. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Joe Biden needs impeached. All these bastards need impeached now.
Says there's been a lot of people hired. Their background hasn't
Oh,
even come in yet, but they're
real quick.
already working. This is the same company.
Hello. Sinbad says, this is effed up and sad. I have never hated anyone for wanting to make a better life for their family. The problem is our government helping them come in illegally to destroy us. Oh,
Yeah.
hello,
And it'll
Robin.
destroy them too. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, it's destructive to these people. It's destructive to us. It's destructive across the board. And they know that. Like I said, that's why they're doing it. This is to collapse the first world. It's to collapse us with this flood of people. And then on top of that, just this aspect of the children and all the things we just described. I mean, yeah, exactly. Exactly. This needs to stop now. They need to bring this up on the House floor, and they need to impeach Joe Biden and all of his goddamn bastards in his administration for this. This is an outrage. This is a crime against humanity. This cannot be allowed to continue.
That was exposed to be flying migrants in the middle of the night to New York. Keep in mind, by the way, in New York City, Mayor Eric Adams just said that these migrants, and we don't know if that's minors or just all that are coming into New York City, he's going to put them up in a luxury hotel in New York City's Times Square. That's just so nice of him. Due to the massive amounts of this that are pouring across the border, employees are not being vetted. The people that are being handed off to are not always completely vetted. She's even got an email up, and this is incredible. Multiple issues that were brought to the MVM site manager's attention, including TSs, and a TS is a travel escort, taking the liberty of, quote, accepting alternate documents without approval. Let's go to 50,000 foot view here. No serious country would be doing this unless there were a specific reason. You guys, you're looking at an operation, all right? You need to understand that we are looking at an operation of not only human trafficking, but in this case, child trafficking. We don't know, and they don't know who these children are, why they're coming across the border. A 10-year-old girl was just raped and impregnated in Ohio over this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember that case where the little girl was raped and, graped, sorry. Was graped by a man that was supposedly an illegal alien, but it's okay because, you know, he's there and then the mother's there. But then
The mom covered up for it and took the child.
because she's in a relationship with this guy.
Right.
So it's like, well, that begs the question, well, who the hell's this child then? Is the child hers? I mean, now that we know this, I mean, you know, begs the question, does it not? How'd the child get to the mix? I mean, it's so many questions, but here's this comment here. MVM Transportation Logistics Specialist's job is described as, quote, arranging and overseeing ground passenger transportation performed via company-owned, and leased vans and office-to-airport shuttles, end quote. Thank you for that. 20 U.S. News.
We're told that her mother may have known something about it. The stuff that's going on is completely insane. And the Biden regime, rather than actually get to the bottom of it or stop it, end the situation, they're exacerbating it. They're setting up a toxic incentive structure, and people, good people, honest people, are falling into it. This needs to stop, and this entire situation needs to be shut down.
Yep. That's exactly right. But hey, we love these people, right? Says the Democrats. Yeah, Gene XO, great parenting. Right, right. I mean, it's just an outrage. It's so insane. There was a comment by Frosted Sleet a little earlier about the drug cartels having bases set up along the border. And there we go. Cartel has military-style bases on our southern border just south of Arizona to run their operations. Yep. I think Frosted Sleet is up on what's going on with the Steve Bannon War Room show. because that's some footage that they have that we cannot share because it's on because the mainstream media will not cover that. That's some exclusive footage of that. They have mountaintops on, I believe, both sides of the border, actually, even on the Arizona side, the American side. The drug cartels are on these mountaintops or these knobs or whatever you want to call them, like these little hilltops in the desert. And they've got bunkers there that they have set up where they have a tent and then they dig underground and they have different areas like right in that top of that mountain. And then they'll go from there and then they'll move from place to place on up through in the desert. And their stations and their bases, their bunkers. And they have footage of these drug cartel people in full-blown military garb with fully automatic weapons and all the rest. And they're just marching right through like a military, literally, up and down across the border. I mean, this is the violation of Joe Biden's oath of office, Kamala Harris's oath of office, and any of these other damn bastards in his administration's oath of office right here. The border issue alone should be enough to impeach these sons of bitches. Get it damn done now, Congress. Get it goddamn done and get it done now. Now. And just to show you how bad that it's getting, for those of you who are still with us, excuse me.
There's more people with us now than there were before. Everybody that's here, make sure that you do hit that like, share, and subscribe for me. If you hadn't already, you really already had. There's only, seriously, I checked yesterday, I had like 90% of my viewers were subscribed. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
So, because I didn't play it earlier, but and there's a reason, because it kind of pertained to this particular subject. Jimmy YouTube had something that he wanted me to share, and I'm going to actually share it real quick here because it pertains to the subject. And that's why.
The shocking video that shows migrants crossing into the United States with help from Biden's Customs and Border Protection. The video
This guy's got millions of subs, by the way. This guy's pretty good.
Previously locked gates, allowing a group of migrants to enter the United States. This is just another example of the incompetence and lawlessness at our southern border. You're about to see agents standing idly by as the migrants enter, making no effort to stop them. Yes, this is more proof that our border security, due to Biden's policies, is in a state of complete disarray. I'm Gary Franchi with the Next News Network. I want you to keep up with the latest news. Tap subscribe below and enable your notifications. A new video suggests that the Texas National Guard and Border Patrol agents employed by Customs and Border Protection seem to have different priorities when it comes to securing our southern border and handling migrants who want to enter our country. According to Fox News, a gate previously locked by Texas National Guard members was opened by Biden's Border Patrol agents on Wednesday to allow several illegal immigrants to enter deeper into our country. Here is the moment. Watch. Look at that. Look at that. Opening the gate, letting them in. Just letting them in. Absolutely absurd. This is Biden's policy at work right here. You are witnessing it. Unbelievable. Look at that.
The unbelievable one. Let's go back here just a touch.
You are witnessing it.
See this young lady here? She doesn't look like to me, doesn't look like the rest of them that are coming across the border. Where did she
she
come
looks
from?
white. She looks white. She's one of those NGO workers. She's exactly what the hell she is.
Come on in, guys. Come on in. We got the red carpet for you right here. Oh, by the way, here's your Walmart gift card and your your ticket to register as a Democrat. Bill Malhusian wrote on Twitter, for the first time, We witnessed the Texas National Guard close and lock a gate on private property at a major crossing area in Eagle Pass, denying entry to migrants who crossed illegally and expected to be let in. Border Patrol then came with a key and let them in for processing. As previously reported by nextnewsnetwork.com, earlier this week, U.S. Customs and Border Protection released operational statistics for July of 2022, which shows that the crisis at our southern border continues to roll on. According to RNC research, more than 4.2 million illegal immigrants have crossed the border since Biden took office.
4.2 million.
Oh, it's more than that. It's
Absolutely
15 million
shameful.
or more. That's the real
The
number.
Democrats have been in control for more than a year, and they have done nothing to fix our broken immigration system. It's no wonder that so many people are able to illegally enter the country when the people tasked with stopping them are this negligent. Something needs to be done about this problem, and soon. Otherwise, we'll continue to see an influx of illegal immigrants, many of whom pose a danger to our safety and security. It's time for a change. We need to elect leaders who will put America first. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. For the Next News Network, I'm Gary Franchi.
Real quick, welcome, Ash. How you doing?
Hey, there's the Ashinator. I'm gonna bring this up here. This is the drug cartels in Mexico, in Tijuana, and I think another border town. They are waging war against the people there because, as of now, the governors of those areas have charged, and I mean the governor's office in these Mexican states on the Mexican side of our border, they are charging heads of the cartels that are there, that operate there. The cartels that are there, they're charging the heads of these cartels with, like, I think crimes against humanity. Even they're charging them with all kinds of different stuff. I mean, they're really getting gutsy, and as a result of that, the cartel has come out in full military force against civilians and civilian businesses and civilian places. This is just one of the examples of this. Drug cartel gunmen burned over 24 stores and burned vehicles in western Mexico after the arrests of their bosses. This is right across the border from us, by the way. There's a little bit of that. Here's a little bit of something here. U.S. government employees in multiple Mexican cities in Baja California, which is the peninsula from California into Mexico. So like that border, the border of California and Mexico, and there's like the Gulf of Baja there. And then there's that stretch of land that off the side of Mexico, the peninsula, that's the Baja. U.S. government employees in multiple Mexican cities in Baja California have been ordered to shelter in place amidst drug cartels, battles, and violence. This includes border cities Tijuana and Mexicali, directly across from the U.S. Some pretty harrowing images and video on social media. So there's one of them there, one of their little thugs, and he's just going through just burning a bus in the middle of the street. I mean, I don't know. Are there people inside? I mean, I don't know. Oh, it's loud. Sorry. I mean, just vehicle after vehicle. Iowa doesn't have any sound. I thought it would have sound. I mean, that's an intense fire.
It's fine for what it is. I mean, you can see the issue. So,
I mean, that's a hot fire. I mean, you can see like that's not just a little, that's the real deal there. Here's another picture in the middle of a roadway there. The Jalisco New Generation drug cartel stages a series of attacks last night, shootings in the municipalities of Irapuato, Celaya, Guadalajara, and Zapopan. Streetcars blocked by burning cars. The governor of Jalisco, I guess, yeah, that's how you pronounce it, assures it is under control. Monday. So that's a Monday. Oh, and here's this. Here's this other one here.
So real quick before you hit play button here, look, Toy Box Brand says, it issue with the cartel is more of the incompetency of the government. You'd be surprised how many establish how about that's an interesting thought, being somebody that comes from South America.
Hashtag Guanajuato XOXXO convenience store in Irapuato being attacked by suspected drug cartel gunmen, setting buildings on fire as 25 of the stores across the state said to have been damaged, according to parent company FEMSA. And here's...
¡Córrele, córrele a la verga! ¡Una gente se queda rancho a la verga! ¡No más a la verga!
I mean, this is a lot of crazy shit going on down there. And this is just the stuff that I've been able to pull up and around here. It's another picture. So, yeah. That's happening right across the border from us, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in the United States, you would think that that might be in the interest of the United States to perhaps, not allow some of that to spill across into our country. But you notice the borders are wide open. So, yeah. Yeah, this is insane. And a lot of people need to be paying attention to the drug cartel activity. They're getting way more bold, way more dangerous on the border. They're doing a lot of crazy crap. Go listen to Savannah Hernandez.
Bella saying sorry, was listening but wasn't able to chat. This is all horrifying. Yes, it's very disturbing on so many levels. It's this government's just not doing a good job. They're allowing all this to happen, and it is very disturbing. Twitty is very powerful. Yep, they sure are.
So you would think that this would be in our national interest to try to, maybe not allow this kind of, I don't know, freaking whole extra governmental force like the cartels, to control the border in our country and in Mexico, and then to traffic drugs and human beings and all the rest of it. And then now they're having a battle. I mean, could that spill over? I mean, you know, right along the border, Tijuana, and they named the other places right along the border there. Excuse me.
So, so then, like this, Frosted Sleet says the money from the drugs, human trafficking, is why our government is letting it happen. Toy Box Brand says money speaks. All that being said, JMK had sent me DM, and I'm actually going to share this because though it doesn't really pertain to that subject in particular, it kind of sort of does. Because all at the same time, this is the kind of stuff that actually happens in the long run. I'm going to actually see if I can't make that just slightly bigger for you. So human body parts were sold on Facebook leads to an arrest of a Pennsylvania man. Cumberland, this is today. Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, East Township received a complaint about a possible human body parts being sold from the 200 block of North Enola Road in June 14th. Where did he go? Police were then led to the house of Jeremy Pauley on July 8th, where the investigation was conducted after police were able to receive a search warrant for his property. In this residence, Pauley was confirmed to have 3 full skeletons, approximately 15 to 20 human skulls, and buckets containing 15 gallons of human remains and organs such as brains, kidneys, and according to the affidavit. The documents state Pauley had found to have purchased human body parts via Facebook from a female in Arkansas named Candace Scott. 1 full head, a full head minus a skull cap, 3 brains, heart, liver, lung, 2 kidneys, full female pelvis, 1 piece of skin with a nipple on it, and 4 hands. Pauley was able to purchase the items from Scott for $4,000. The investigation by Arkansas FBI was able to determine that the remains were stolen from the mortuary in Arkansas. They say that Pauley is admitted to purchasing 2 shipments of body parts from Scott, stating that the collected oddities and the human parts were purchased through the legal means. Police also say that they were able to determine that the human remains were then being sold to Pauley for monetary gain. In this moment, human remains have been located in Nola, Arkansas, and Scranton after the shipment of remains from Pauley were intercepted by the U.S. Postal Service Scranton agents, FBI Scranton, and PSP. Pauley was released on $50,000 bond on August 18th on the charges of abuse of corpse, receiving stolen property, and dealing in proceeds of unlawful activities. So, human trafficking, and then, when things get bad and go to worse, it's like, oh my God, exactly, Michael. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. This is the crap that happens here in the United States, and people are overlooking it. They're overlooking like it's not a problem. Not a problem whatsoever, period. I hope he comes back. He just doesn't immediately dropped because it was I have no clue. Hello? Where the heck did he go? Damn it. He was supposed to actually hold a conversation with me while we go away. So, that being said, when you actually think about it and you think of all the disgusting things that are going on, one thing leads to another, and, you end up having issues such as that. Yeah, land of opportunity. Yep. Come on over. That's what happens. I'm going to see if I can't see if he doesn't come back. I would assume that he'd come back within a moment. That was a quick drop. I have no clue. Usually it's an internet issue. especially considering it dropped out on Discord as well. I would assume it's just an internet issue. So we'll give him a few minutes to see if his internet doesn't come back for him. Otherwise, everybody should make sure that they check out AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com, the most base shirts on the planet. Obviously, the guy knows what he's talking. He's got plenty to talk about. He does have a locals channel. He does have a Rumble channel. That Rumble channel is full of information that pertains to things like the Ukraine and everything that happens there. If you're willing and able, please help me out. Go to buymeacoffee.com/Koolfrogg. If that doesn't work out for you, it makes it too difficult. If it's easier to go to the PayPal, there is a PayPal link down below as well. We are at the 3-hour mark. I would assume that he would wanted to say goodbye. We'll give him a few moments yet and see if he's willing. The bigger question, what were people using them for? Or darker? Yeah, right. What were they actually, what was he doing with all this stuff? What was the necessary means for him to actually purchase such a thing? That's exactly it. Money. It's all coming down to money. That's exactly what Toybox Brains got there or whatever. It's all about the money. No, he didn't fall asleep. I think it's an internet issue because, like I said, it dropped here and it dropped over on the Discord side all at the same time. And normally he actually sits on Discord for a little bit. So I would assume that he would come back. I didn't think he had too much more to go with on anything. It looked like he was pretty much wrapping up the current story. Are they in your streets right now? Not sure what your question is for the Torbox Brain. Has MS-13 affected your livelihood? When it comes down to it, I mean, it greatly could be. It greatly could be that they are affecting our livelihood because they're actually the ones that are supposedly bringing these multitudes of children across the border to actually, as well as other people, and transporting them and getting them to the location that they need to be. America Shirts, where are you, bud? And I don't have any other way of messaging them at the moment. Sinbad, read my comment to Toybox Brain. Toybox Brain. There's. So she says, Toybox Brain, our country just convicted 5 MS-13 members who are here from Mexico. All but one were underage. They unlived a 17-year-old kid for no reason. And I really don't know, and I'm not going to actually go into it with them because I'm not going to, suggest anything. But yeah, I mean, Toybox Brain has MS-13 affected your livelihood? Are they in your streets right now? Yes, they are. And yes, they are affecting us, like I said, because they're actually bringing people over. AmericaShirts, you okay?
Yeah, my internet just randomly decided to cut out.
Yeah, that's what I said. It had to have been an internet because you'd cut out here and on Discord all at the same time, and that's not normal.
Yeah, it was just gone.
How many black individuals have been arrested for gang violence or drug possession? Well, it's not really just, certain individuals. It's individuals of poverty that are using means going into gangs and selling drugs to actually, put themselves there in mass numbers. It's amazing. Under these laws that were created in 88 and 94 by one person named Joe Biden. The laws that he created actually incarcerated more people of poverty than any other. They like to use the persons of color, but it's not really a color thing. It's not really a race thing. When it comes down to it, people in poverty is where he's affected the most. Tweety U.S. News says, never be an organ donor. One job interview revealed the legal way to grab organs via patients who are hooked up to life support. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that could be an easy, simple thing to do. Did you want to cover anything else? What are your thoughts?
I don't think, did I have anything else? I don't think I had anything else.
No, I didn't cover everything that I had pulled up. I had pretty much closed a bunch of it, but there's some articles that we can pull up here that could be interesting to speak of. If you're interested, you still at it, or you want to? That's what I'm asking. It is after 3 o'clock for you.
Yeah, I think I probably better call it.
All right, sounds good to me.
I'm getting a little tired. So, is my internet cut out again?
I'm interested in what Toy Box Brains actually, speaking of, to go along with a bunch of this or whatever. So since these people who are citizens causing trouble is okay, but a few stray MS-13 in federal prison is bad. Well, see, the thing is no, it's not. It's not okay. It's not okay at all for our citizens to do anything. Period. And really, if you know the difference between state prisons and federal prisons, state prisons are a lot more harsh and harder to stay in. Federal prisons are kind of cushioned and more protected as opposed to the others. And it's not hypocrisy when it comes down to it, because, like I said, a criminal's a criminal, regardless if you're from another country or you're from this country. Yeah, when it comes down to it, yeah, you did something stupid, go to prison. I did show us out once. You want to go ahead and show yourself out again? You can.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. You do.
Because I didn't know if you were going to come back.
I mean, of course. I mean, if I'm given the opportunity, why not? AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com. That's AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com. Get yourself the Abolish the FBI t-shirt. It's fantastic. Join the movement and get rid of these bastards in the FBI. Also, I have a Rumble. Go check me out in the description for my Rumble. It's capital A, capital S, all together one word, as America Shirts. You can find it there. You can search it there. It shall appear. I believe that's it.
And of course, I'm Koolfrogg. If you want to actually support me, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Koolfrogg. Also, if that doesn't work out for you, hit up that PayPal link. Don't forget to hit up the local site. The local site, I am going to start producing something. I'm going to do some readings. It seems that there's more people that are interested in what I could potentially want to do over there. Don't forget to hit that up and subscribe to it. I'll start doing that as soon as I possibly can. Hit up that Rumble site. When you hit up mine, make sure you hit up America Shirts. Everybody say goodbye.
Later, peeps.
Ah,